teams in the city, really all three basketball teams in the city. Tigers men's basketball, Tigers women's basketball, and Grizzlies basketball all in action tonight. And Brett, we're looking for both the Tigers and the Grizzlies to win tonight. Tigers on the road against VCU tonight at 6 on ESPNU. The Grizzlies on the road in Detroit to take on a really almost historically bad Detroit Pistons team. What do you think happens tonight? What do you think of these two games? But how are you doing, first of all?
I'm doing great, Bryant. Good afternoon, Johnny. Good afternoon to everyone. And we are going to have fun between now and 6, and then we give it right to the two tips. I mean, the
That's
tips
right.
will almost go off at the same time, and will go off as almost duplicate teams. I mean, 2.5-point favorites for both Memphis teams tonight on the road, where it is very must win. I still love the atmosphere in Detroit. Do they still have the Detroit basketball town guy on the PA?
I think so.
I like
I'll be
it,
honest,
Cat.
I haven't watched any Detroit basketball games this season.
You haven't, Brian?
I have
How
not.
come? We like Detroit.
We love Detroit, and I'm disappointed I haven't. But I have. I've checked in a couple times, but I haven't watched long enough to pick up something like that. But no, this is a game. You've said it the past couple of days, Brett. This is a game that both teams are entering it kind of struggling, and both teams look at this game and go, "That's a game that we can win and need.
Got to win that one.
Got to win that one."
Both teams are both home teams, and both Memphis being the opponent tonight. They're looking for the wins for the Tigers and VCU. You know, last year it was easy. I was scared of this game last year at FedEx Forum. Really scared of this game. I am mortally just laying awake scared over this game.
Yeah.
Because this is one, I know people can talk all they want about a long season, and as I said the other day, you can get under that comfortable blanket of, well, if we played them again.
Yeah.
Heard a Tiger assistant this morning with Greg and Eli talking about if we played Ole Miss 100 times.
Right.
Well, that's some very unique scheduling, because I don't ever remember a college basketball team playing 100 times against the same opponent.
That's right.
We know it doesn't work that way.
No.
That's not real world.
Yes.
That's giving red meat. That's making an excuse. And tonight against VCU, it is a net ranking killer. Killer. And Tiger fans can talk about, at the end of the year will be so much better. And now we know that Jordan Brown's not playing tonight, right?
That's correct.
He's sick. I'm sick of his play, and now he's ill. But he's not playing tonight. And all these guys, and 5-2 is not a bad spot for the Tigers at all.
Not at all.
But all these guys are going to look so much better when you get into that Temple, Tulane, North Texas, SMU, Charlotte grind.
Right.
And then and you win 17 in a row, and you are 15 in a row, and you go 15-3 or 16-2 in the AAC, and all that posturing about, if we play damn Ole Miss now,
That's right.
if we played VCU now, we play VCU tonight. That's the time you get them.
Yeah, well, and that's always the kind of coach speak of, this team is so good, we just couldn't finish. If we played them 100 times, we'd beat them 99 of the times. It was just that one out of 100 times they got us last night. I mean, you hear so many coaches talk about it, but you're right.
That's the talk of the defeated.
Yes, it is, and you're going to hear that from a lot of coaches, but at the end of the day, you play them once, and I guess in conference you play them twice or maybe even three
That's right.
times, but, you've got to capitalize on these games, and the thing that scares me the most about tonight, I know we'll talk about this game more at length in our next segment, but the thing that scares me the most about this game is Brett, and this team's one of these teams is in action tonight, but after this, on the road against Texas A&M, then home against Clemson and Virginia, currently a ranked Clemson team. And
undefeated.
And so, what is the look ahead looking like when you're going on the road to a team that you can look at their record? These guys are looking at what these teams have done against other opponents. When you're looking at, VCU, they've lost to McNeese State and Norfolk State in their last game. We've got Texas A&M, Virginia, and Clemson coming up. You can easily look ahead and look past that game, and especially with Jordan Brown being out tonight. I know he hasn't given you a lot this year. He hasn't given you a ton of minutes, but that just means, and he's been good this year, but you're going to have to get a lot out of Malcolm Dandridge tonight.
You are, and when the longer Malcolm Dandridge is left out there, the more prone he is to foul.
Yes.
and to get into foul trouble. Now, it is so interesting to me, and I try to never draw the direct comparison between college football and college basketball because it is as different as daylight and dark. Quite literally, one has 11 men on the field, one has 5. One's got a round-shaped ball. People know all this. But especially the basketball proponents, they love to draw that comparison, and I'm hearing so much of this now around town. We want the flat, linear, zero-sum game when it comes to college football. When it's never been like that.
It's never been like that. No.
But with college basketball, if we only played them again, if we ran into them again, maybe.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in a rematch, we could beat them the second time. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, maybe, probably. No, that's not how it works. There's one shot of going to Virginia Common all year, and it's tonight, and it's why it is that important because everybody around here knows the schedule was front-loaded and brutal.
Yes. Next
year's will have to be front-loaded and brutal because this conference is pure garbage.
Yeah, and, that sentiment of, if we played them 10 times, we played them again. If we're playing Ole Miss again tonight instead of on Saturday, that is another thing that can, it can be dangerous to these, young players. You get that in their head, and they're now focused on that loss against Ole Miss, and we should have beat them, we could have beat them. Now they're not focused on the task at hand. I mean, you've got to be focused on that next game, and when that one game's over, win, lose, or draw, you've got to move on to this next game.
That's it.
And that's how about
this,
worried.
Bro? How about this? I'm not talking about scraping and bowing and all due deference paid.
Right.
But just congratulate the winner and move on.
Sure. Congratulations, Ole Miss. Good win. Good start to the season. Chris Beard's obviously finding some early success down there. Now let's move on to VCU.
Because on that, if we played them 100 times, we played them again, who really thought during that game, that Friday of the Bahamas, has Villanova won since?
Brett, oh man, and I'm excited.
Seriously, have they won a game since that day?
Brett, I do not believe so. I'm looking.
Who thought that would have happened?
Because
they look like the Globetrotters that day.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Let's see. Villanova has not won. They've lost to St. Joseph's.
And who would have thought that?
And Kansas State since then.
Now that's 3 quality opponents, especially those first 2. Not dissimilar from the rivalry passion around Memphis and Ole Miss.
Sure.
There was some Super Bowl quality to that game Saturday, but it was not the Super Bowl. It was a big game aspect to it. There's a big game for those Big 5 teams to play them.
Absolutely.
In Kansas State, we know is always real good, very very competitive team historically. But coming out of the Bahamas, if we played them again, nobody would have thought, that Friday, November 25th, when we're talking on December 6th and scratch since. Nobody would have believed that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, coming out of that game, it was okay, 2-1, and the one game you lost, that Villanova team looks like a top 15 team, and that team could very easily be Final Four when we get to the end of the season. I had Villanova in my Final Four before the season started, but, you played 2 Big 5 games, and Brett, you know how much I respect the Big 5, which now has 6 teams for whatever reason. But
and that Drexel, the added team?
Drexel's the added team. And, and then Kansas State, a very good team. Kansas State has only lost to USC and Miami this season. So 2 really good opponents. Yeah, very, very respectable. And tough games, but you would think the Villanova team that we saw that one day would at least win 1, probably 2 of those games.
And to, the people, the hot torrid shooting, whether it was the little guard for Ole Miss or Morrell or whatever. Well, the Tigers have run into hot torrid shooting now 2 games in a row like that. Maybe it's and Ole Miss shot the ball well last night. Maybe it's not hot torrid shooting. Maybe it's the calling card of the 5+ years of Penny Hardaway not being up to speed yet in this early part of the year. Could it possibly be that? But no. Let's don't get near any blame.
Yeah, no, and we'll see tonight, and we'll see what the shooting looks like for VCU because I think Jason Munns pointed this out. Very similar 3-point shooting numbers to Villanova when Villanova entered that game against Memphis, both hovering around low 30s, 31, 32. And so, you said after that Villanova game, huge shooting night. You could say the same thing about Ole Miss, but now against a VCU team that has really struggled behind the three-point line, if they come out tonight and start knocking down threes left and right, then I think you really have to have a serious conversation about. It's kind of the same thing we did with the Grizzlies at the beginning of the season. Of first couple games, you're going, okay, just great shooting night from these teams.
Is it
and then
them or us?
Fourth or fifth game, we're saying, all right, we need to take a little closer look at this defense because not every single team can have their best shooting night against the Grizzlies or against the Tigers. So I think that's certainly something to keep an eye on tonight.
And it's never in the 5+ years, it's never been that it possibly, from the Tiger point of view, could be us. It's always them. It's always something, the bad luck or didn't get the timeout against FAU or some excuse. And I think people are ready to move on from that. In the preseason, when we did these picks, we both had wins at VCU tonight.
Yeah.
We both had wins. At this point, you had the Tigers you had the Tigers 4-3.
All right.
You had a loss at Mizzou. You had and going 1-2 in the Bahamas. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So you were at 4-3. I was at 5-2. We both had coming out of tonight wins.
Yeah.
I think that will happen.
I think so too.
I think it's going to be really, really close. I think Virginia Common tonight would love to keep this game in the 50s.
Absolutely. They're going to want to slow it down, and they're going to want to make this ugly against this Tiger team. And, this is going to be a big game for them. I mean, VCU, I don't care how good or bad they are, VCU draws great crowds in Richmond, and people come out to see VCU play home games. And so, especially with a quality team like Memphis coming in, I think there will be a good environment. And VCU, really, their problems this season have been offensively. Defensively, they have not been bad, and you talk about keeping it in the 50s, keeping it in the 60s. I'm looking just real quickly at these numbers, and their last 4 of their last 5 games have been played in the 60s, and so that's the style of game they want.
And the wins in there are narrow escapes.
Yes.
They've kept it.
Yes.
I mean, it's been tight. The Tigers. I don't know why I'm so scared of this. Other than the biggest fear I have about this, I have 5 previous years of seeing this, and I've seen this play out. The Tigers could come out and blow their doors off, and then head to A&M with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, no, they absolutely could. I think that would be best case scenario. I think that's what we all want. But, a good coach at VCU, Ryan Odom, that a lot of people will know for leading UMBC to that big win against Virginia, but also had some real success at Utah State before taking this job at VCU. But, it should be a good game. I think the Tigers will win. We're going to get to Tiger Bankroll in our next segment where, we actually put some money on it. Johnny is itching over there to try to get back into this thing.
Yes, Johnny's ready.
He's
I'm
been
ready.
thinking about it all week.
Man, I'm fired up, man.
Johnny's been pressing since Saturday's loss.
Hey, man. I've been down in the dumps, but hey.
I know it, Johnny. Get your chin up.
Hey, I'm picking my chin up, Brett. I'm ready, man.
Hey,
Got to get back in there.
That's right.
Got to get
Gotta
back in the arena. Now, on those preseason predictions for non-conference, I had 9-4, and I thought that would be enough for that, that kind of comfy middle, 8, 9, 10, something like that, maybe 7. You had 8-5.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure now that 9-4 would get you in that cozy middle. I think it would be more toward 9 or 10 than it would 7 or 8.
Yeah, no, and that'll be a good question for Kevin Sweeney a little bit later in the show, because he'll certainly know more than we do about that. But right now, Brett, I mean, if we're looking at 4, really, if we're looking at 5, you got to have this game tonight against VCU because, like I said earlier, you've got 3 really good teams, right up next after this game.
In almost every preseason math, whether it was 9, what you going to do in those 13, this was in the left-hand column. End of the year, 23, 24, 25, and there's always that few out there that's something in 1, something in 2. and they've never been right. You might not need to listen to them, and they were the same ones telling you Musa Cisse would be one and done.
That's right. Musa Cisse, one and done guy, and was going to
be sad.
Huge,
how sad to know so little.
Yes. But it's going to be fun, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more in our next segment. But let me set up today's show. Before we get to top and not top story of the day, like I said, 3:30 in our next segment, we're going to get right back to this conversation about Grizzlies and VCU. I'm curious what listeners think. What do y'all think about tonight's game? Are you worried about it? Do you think the Tigers go in there and handle business tonight? Let us know, 901-360-8255, what you think tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about tonight's game in our next segment. We'll also have to get to Tiger Bankroll right now. Tigers a 2.5-point favorite tonight against VCU, so we'll make our picks in the next segment. 3:45, we'll get into the Grizzlies conversation, their game tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Both these teams eager for wins, especially the Pistons in this losing streak they've been on. They're looking to break it. They're looking to get a win in the book. It's been a long time since they've had a win, so a big game tonight, Grizzlies, Pistons. We'll talk about that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company, will join us to talk college football. A lot to get to with David. 4:30, we'll get to some early week college football and NFL lines. I guess only one college football line this weekend, Army and Navy. Feels so weird to say that after the season is really, regular season has come to an end. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney from College Basketball Central and Sports Illustrated will join us to talk college basketball. A ton to get to. 2 really fun games last night in college basketball. We'll have to get his thoughts on the Tigers and really college basketball as a whole at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. And it's time for the Family Leisure's Christmas sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Are you tired of the sore from shopping? Check out their huge selection of hot tubs and massage chairs, all of those in stock. And surprise your kids with a new arcade, game table, or play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy. And also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Family Leisure wants to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian, I'm Brett, and Johnny Hill's our producer, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want your feedback on the Tigers' night in Richmond and on the Grizzlies' night tonight in Detroit. 901-360-8255 to weigh in on any and all subject matter. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year to you from everyone at Lexus of Memphis. Great offers on the remaining 2023s and all the 2024s that have taken over, and always special leasing options. Give them a call at 901-334-9673. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my top story today is the Tigers and their game tonight against VCU. VCU 4-4 right now and looking to bounce back after a loss against Norfolk State. They did have a win the game before against Penn State, but they've lost 3 of their last 4 coming into tonight against the Tigers. Losses against Norfolk State and McNeese State certainly jump out when you look at their schedule. And for McNeese State, don't look now, but Will Wade, his 10-game suspension at the start of the season has come to an end.
Take that, Harbaugh.
That's right. After McNeese State beat the Mississippi University for women last night, 92-23. Yes, Brett, you heard me right. The Mississippi University
the W?
For women, they played the W, and
W's co-ed?
Got a big W. The W is co-ed. We learned earlier today, I think since 1988 they've been co-ed.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
How'd I miss that?
How'd you miss it? In about 20.
Was it in all the newspapers?
I don't. Maybe back then it was. I don't know. Maybe it got looked over because people didn't understand why they didn't change the name of the school.
I've had friends all my life that went to the W.
Really? Wow. So a big loss for them last night. A big win for McNeese State, and then they wake up today with Will Wade going to be back on the sideline next week for their next game. But back to the Tigers. A big game tonight. We know Jordan Brown did not travel with the team. It's being reported that he's dealing with an illness, and that's why he didn't travel for the team. He really hasn't given you much this year, and I know Penny Hardaway has talked to the media multiple times about how they really need him to step up. They need the double-double guy that Louisiana had last season in him, and will we see that? Hopefully. I've seen some people thinking maybe this is a little bit more than just an illness. But I don't want to speculate, at least right now, because this illness is the first time we've heard about it, but he'll be out tonight. You need a big game from Malcolm Dandridge tonight in his absence. He'll start, and so hopefully the Tigers, after losing back-to-back games, can bounce back with a big win before a really tough stretch coming up these next three.
I don't want to speculate, but I want to ask more questions about it. Are there any well-placed sourcing for trouble in paradise?
No, and it wasn't even really speculating. It was just people saying, I hope this isn't anything more than an illness. Not even really a sense
first of all, I hope he gets well.
More. I hope he gets well, too. And hopefully this doesn't lead to anything in
How's
terms
Penny's
of him on the
tooth?
team. I think it's better.
Good.
He had a big surgery to remove the tooth, is what I heard. So hopefully no toothaches tonight in Richmond.
You know, technically, I think I'm correct about this. McNeese is now technically just McNeese State. They have
really
gone away with the state, like
interesting. So
Memphis
just McNeese.
I think.
Interesting. I know Nichols is like that. It's not Nichols State anymore.
But I would have bet the W was not co-ed.
Well,
so
hey, you teach me something, I teach you something, Brad. That's what we're here for.
My top story: Tigers in Richmond, Grizzlies in Detroit. They both will face a lot stiffer test this year. But both of these games are must-wins tonight. Both 2.5-point favorites on the road. Pistons losers of 17 straight. VCU 141 at the net. Let me repeat, 141 at the net. Best win over Penn State. Bad losses to McNeese State. Not to both of them, just to one. And to Norfolk State. That is Norfolk State's Super Bowl playing VCU. So kind of know that feeling. Memphis 71 net. Stakes are huge tonight.
Not top story of the day.
Stakes are absolutely huge tonight. My not top story of the day. Let's go to the other team in action tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Detroit Pistons tonight. 2 of their last 3 games have been wins. They got it started a week ago from today with a win at home against the Jazz, a 105-91 win. Then they won their very next game on the road against Dallas, 108-94. The next game, a loss at the Suns. But I thought a really well-performed game by the Grizzlies in a 116-109 loss. But now the Detroit Pistons, a 2-18 Detroit Pistons team.
Detroit basketball team.
I don't know how much gusto they have chanting that this season with all of the losses that have mounted up this season. Their last win was against the Bulls, and it was a long time ago.
Sure was.
October 28th.
Couple months ago.
Yes, October 28th, their last win, and won the game before that on October 27th. So, Brett, you talked a lot this week about the best 2 weeks in Alabama history, maybe the best 2 days in Detroit Pistons, certainly this season, was back-to-back wins and back-to-back days. Haven't won a game since. They're certainly looking at this game thinking it could be a win with Orlando, Indiana, back-to-back games against the 76ers, and then Milwaukee on the schedule. So this might be their most winnable game on the schedule before we get to the new year. But for the Grizzlies, they're looking to continue this momentum after winning 2 of their last 3 and beat Detroit. So stakes are high in this one, and both teams really looking for a win.
I'm going to say that PA guy in Detroit was the first real kind of hype man PA guy around the league. Because it used to be very much, two points during, foul on number 12, Isaiah Tyler, Joe Dumars.
And then get out of there.
I'm going to say he was, and I think he's very entertaining.
Yes,
My not top story: eight NFL teams at 500. Denver, Cincinnati, Buffalo in the AFC. Atlanta, Minnesota, Green Bay, Rams, Seattle in the NFC. Somewhere in that group is one team, that I think will play in a conference championship game. Yesterday, Bo Marchant told us he thought it could be Buffalo. What about Green Bay? What about Green Bay in the NFC? Here's the rest of the pack schedule. At Giants, home versus Tampa Bay. At Panthers, at Minnesota, home versus the Bears.
Wow. That's a very winnable schedule, Brett.
Sure is.
Look out. Hey, I said it yesterday to Bo. Look out for the Packers. Time to look
out
for them.
You inspired me.
Thank you.
That's when I made that note to look up all the 6 and 6s.
Thank you, Brett. I mean, look, hey, they're playing good football right now. 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. So let's keep an eye on the Packers this weekend and going forward. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about tonight's game between the Tigers and VCU. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When building the 2023 RDX, we decided to raise our standards. That means a 272 horsepower VTEC turbo engine, standard. Acura Watch advanced safety and driver assistance technology. Yep, standard. Alexa built in, also standard. The 2023 RDX, raise your standards. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis to learn more about the Acura RDX.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
My Westies.
WestiesMemphis.com.
Westies hot fudge pie. By now Now you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me?
Wow. What you said?
Often imitated,
Never duplicated.
the new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh my, so good.
We deliver 7 nights a week.
Downtown Memphis. Oh my.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
It's the hometown Memphis Tigers taking on Iowa State in this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Plus, Memphis music legends, the Barkays, will be there performing the music that made Memphis. And you'll want to be there too.
Everybody say, so bigger. Say, so bigger.
It's all happening Friday, December 29th at 2:30. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And we got a big game tonight for the Tigers against VCU. VCU enters this game 4-4 with kind of the losses that everyone's going to talk about when talking about this game. McNeese State, or McNeese, we're still confused on what they're called now, and Norfolk State in their last game, or two of the big ones. Tigers coming off of back-to-back losses. I was curious what people thought about tonight's game and what they think about tonight's game for the Tigers, and we did get some text messages mainly about the Ole Miss game against Memphis when we were talking about how out 100 times, yada, yada, yada. We had one text that says Ole Miss was favored against Memphis. Don't know why they would harp on it too much.
They weren't favored.
They were not favored, but a very close line. It was hovering, what was it, about 2 points, 1.5, 2?
2.5.
Tip. Very, very close. And so, I think even though they weren't favored in the game, it was still, Vegas thought it was going to be a 2-point game. These are two very good teams. I don't want to spend this segment talking about Ole Miss and that game from last week, but,
Memphis was 2.5-point favorite Saturday over Ole Miss.
Yeah, and so, but it was still, people thought it was going to be a close game. And so, for people
and it
who
was a close game.
It was, and that's why I'm saying is people who are freaking out about the loss against Ole Miss, that's a very quality Ole Miss team down there and has been playing really good basketball to start the season. And so, it's nothing to lose your mind about. And so, moving on to this game, Tigers need a win, and we spent a lot of time talking about Jordan Brown and his absence tonight, but the guard play, I think, you saw some issues in that game against Ole Miss. Who are you looking at to kind of have a game tonight that really needs to step up?
David Jones.
Yeah.
The hero of the Bahamas, the MVP of the team through 7 games, that between not getting the ball to him Saturday and coaching dereliction, it was just unbelievable that he went 5-50 without touching the ball, without a shot going up. He touched the ball without a shot going up.
And that's the thing. You've got to get him the ball. I know there's been a lot of conversations before the season and to start the season about who is the best player on this team. Who's the best? Is it David Jones? Is it Jaquan Walton? Both are very good, but I think David Jones has shown you a ton from a scoring perspective early this season. Obviously, Jaquan Walton was out towards the end of that game against Ole Miss. But yeah, you got to have David Jones involved, and you've got to get him touches. You really need, I don't want to say run the offense through him, but you got to get him involved as much as possible, and going the last 5 minutes of that game is just unacceptable. acceptable when you have a guy that is playing really, really well and had been playing really well in that game against Ole Miss. You got to get him the ball, and you got to give him open shot opportunities.
And there's so many players that really, outside of the wins in the Bahamas, from the Villanova game on,
sure.
Well, just 2 games, but really have been missing in action.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And so, who steps up? I think, a guy that we talked about before the season, and I think talked about a couple of games that he really stood out, but Nick Jourdain. And I think that's a name that you're going to have to lean on tonight, a guy that's come off the bench for you. And with, the kind of maybe lack of depth in the front court tonight, you really need Nick Jourdain to step up. And I've heard so much. He's a dog. He's going to give you a lot down low. He's going to be active. He's going to be physical. In some games, he is all of those things. But other games, he sometimes gets lost down low. But you're going to need him to give you some massive minutes tonight.
And the rotations will be critical tonight. How many players will play? Will they change the starting lineup? I guess it will have to change some.
Yeah, so Malcolm Dandridge is going to be in the starting lineup tonight in place of Jordan Brown. But what does that mean for who's first come off the bench? What are you looking at in terms of bodies? And I think. If you see something similar to you did these last couple games where shooting has been a problem for the Tigers, do you look to Ashton Hardaway, give him more minutes to kind of get that shooter on the court?
Get him on the court and get the ball in there.
Yeah, you got to. And I think any freshman that you talk about, and we saw those first couple of games, those first couple of home games where he was out there, he was getting 8 or 9 minutes a game, and he would get out there, but he looked like a freshman. He looked lost at times. He looked uncomfortable when he was shooting. But then you saw what he did against Michigan. And so I think you've got to continue to build that confidence. It's not going to happen overnight, and he needs these reps. He needs game time experience to feel more comfortable. And so I hope we see some more run for him tonight against VCU.
Tigers led most of the day on Saturday, almost 34 minutes, but then lost in the end. Tonight against VCU, we talk about VCU maybe wanting to keep it low scoring. Well, that's to the Tigers' strong suit too. When all the numbers, all the analytics for Penny Hardaway in his 5+ years at Memphis, when they hold teams under 50. It's a really good record.
Yeah, no, and that's what they're going to look to do, and we need to see that defense from them tonight. And I think you got to get after them early and often. I mean, you look at what Ole Miss did. You put up 80 points, and that's not something I think
50 in the second half. Is that right?
That's right. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that is right. Yep.
And that's in 20 minutes.
And that's right. And it was actually, if you break that 20 minutes down into 10 minutes, they scored 25 in each of those 10 minutes of the second half. So complete even split. I went more in the last 10 minutes or whatever. It was completely even. And so, that's not something, we know how much he talks about defense, Coach Penny Hardaway does. And so I think, you go back and whatever day they had film and looked back at what happened, he's pointing out, you gave up 80 points. You gave up 50 points in the second half. That is not what our team does. And so I'm hoping to see a far more physical, far more active defense tonight.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe that the Tigers all year defensively would allow one player to go off on them. Yeah. Well, in Villanova had a couple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I just hope we don't kind of fall into that. You've seen it these last 2 games, and I hope we don't, because I remember a couple years ago, that's kind of what it would be, and it was weird. I don't remember if this was, it wasn't last year. It must have been 2 years ago or 3 years ago, where the Tigers, especially when they got to conference, they had this bad stretch of there'd be one person on the opposing team. It seemed every single game they played that would go off. They'd finish with like 25 points, 20 points, but it would never be the team's leading scorer. They would scheme so much defensively for that leading scorer that it would always be somebody coming off the bench that would light it up for 20 points or 25 points, and we'd be sitting there going, how can you let this guy come off the bench and score that many points? And I'm just hoping we're not falling into something like that again, but this time it's seeming like those leading scorers are having really good games against this Tiger defense.
And Brian, you made a good point. Like, the Tigers, we're normally a defensive team. Like, I helped Penny with the Penny Hardaway show, and he even mentioned that that's their identity.
He stresses it all the
Yeah,
time.
that's their identity.
Yeah.
And then he said the most consistent guy right now is David Jones.
Yeah.
And he's the guy. Like, he out of all the guys, he's the most consistent guy. So he needs to really, like, show up for them to continue being good.
I think Jones had 20 Saturday, and that was with that long, protracted spell without shooting the ball.
Yeah, 22 points on really good shooting splits. 2 for 8 for 3. But if you just take what he did outside of 3-point shots, he was really effective. And you just need more of that from the rest of the team. But I feel like we're talking about a lot of bad things this team has done, and easy to do that when they've lost 2 straight games. Yeah. But we knew losses were coming early.
Yeah,
in the
they
season.
were coming. They were
the
coming.
schedule was built for a couple non-conference losses. So
they were, and I had 5-2 to this point, and I'm not that surprised by how it's looked, other than surprising that it was a defensive lapse.
Yes, and I think
I agree.
That's something to keep an eye on tonight because, like I said, you don't want to slip into that where this part of the game that coach has been stressing every chance he talks to the media, every coach's show, every coach's radio show, he is stressing defense, and then you come out and you're giving up 80 points, you're giving up 75 points, you're being outscored by opponents, and it's ugly like 50 points in the second half.
Just like on Saturday, 2.5-point favorite in Oxford. Tonight, Memphis, a 2.5-point favorite on the road at VCU in Richmond. Tiger bankroll. Bryant, you're 5-2 on the year. You're 11.25. That's plus 125, starting with the 1,000. Your pick.
I'm going to take the Tigers again tonight. I'm going to take them for 75. I think, they get there. Maybe this is a 5 or 6 point win for them. Maybe it's a blowout, but I do think they cover the 2.5 points. Brad, I hope it's a blowout, and we can, talk about a lot of momentum moving into that, going into that Texas A&M game.
Johnny Hill, you're 3-4 on the year. You're at 890, so that's down $1.10. 110. Your play tonight.
Hey, Brett. Man, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I'm even thinking right now, but man, I'm taking the Tigers, I believe.
All right.
And I'm going to go for a smooth $50. $50.
$50. The Tigers against the spread this year are 3-4. John, it's a clean sweep for you. You're 8 for 8 taking the Tigers.
He loves his Tigers. I mean, he comes in here rocking the Tiger jacket. He loves the Tigers.
Hey, man, I had to. I said they ain't gonna let me down this time.
We'll see.
I'm 5-2 on the year at 11.75, narrowly leading Bryant. I'm going to take Memphis to win the game.
Oh no! Oh, here we go.
69-67.
Yep.
So give me VCU plus the 2.5.
Saw that coming. Yep.
For $10.
$10.
$10.
I ain't gonna lie, Brett. I'm shocked. $10.
I'm not.
I'm shocked.
Playing the long game.
I mean, playing the long game. I get it. And I thought we were gonna get. What have we had a group lock yet this year?
Yes, we had one against Michigan in the Bahamas. Okay. We all had the Tigers.
Okay. I didn't know if that was going to be our first group lock. I know it's been very few this year. I mean, only 7 games. We haven't picked a ton, but I knew we hadn't done much of any group locks for Tiger Bankroll. I thought we were going to get another one there today.
That's it.
Well, you had 2, so you're very close of going group lock on the Tigers. But all right, so we'll see what happens tonight. Me and Johnny, we're on the Tigers. Brett, he thinks they win, but he thinks it's much closer than what we think. He'll take VCU, the Rams, tonight. Well, let's go ahead, get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Grizzlies and their game tonight against the Pistons.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Memphis, home of the blues, world-renowned barbecue, and award-winning craft beers. Now you can take a dive into these great libations with City Brew Tours Memphis. City Brew Tours Memphis offers a craft beer adventure with behind-the-scenes access to local breweries. See for yourself how craft beer is made, learn about different styles of beer, delve into beer history, and discover the secrets behind the Memphis brews. Best of all, with City Brew Tours, you will take your taste buds on a journey with beer tastings at each brewery stop, complemented by local snacks to munch on. City Brew Tours handles transportation to the breweries, too. You drink, they drive. Looking for the perfect gift idea this holiday season? Treat your loved ones to an unforgettable experience. A local craft beer tour with City Brew Tours Memphis. Head over to citybrewtours.com/Memphis and brew up your craft beer adventure today.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park. We got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5 Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5 Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5 Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5 Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Make the season extraordinary when you shop the spectacular holiday collection at Sissy's Log Cabin. From engagement rings to designer jewelry, you'll save on gifts everyone will love, all while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched service and experience at any of our 6 locations or online at sissyslogcabin.com. Embrace the magic of the season only at Sissy's Log Cabin, official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Tigers, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring Titleist SM9 wedges tuned for precise contact, lower flight, and higher spin. Now $30 off. From Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday special. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we talked a lot to start the show about the Tigers' big game tonight on the road against VCU before they head down to College Station to take on Texas A&M. But, Brett, we got to talk about the Grizzlies because they're also in action tonight. Been a couple of days off for them since their last game, a loss to the Suns. But back in action tonight against the Detroit Pistons, a really struggling Detroit Pistons team.
That is putting it mildly. Yes. And if the Pistons don't break through tonight, again, they're looking at it as this is the night to break through. If they don't break through tonight, Friday night at Orlando, Monday the 11th home against Indiana, Wednesday the 13th home against Philadelphia, Friday the 15th at Philadelphia, Saturday the 16th at Milwaukee.
Well, that's quite the opposite of an easy schedule. That's brutal. It really is. And the team.
If you're 17-2, that's tough.
Yes, and I think
or 18-2.
Right, and Brad, I think maybe people that haven't paid attention yet this season. Maybe college football they're still watching, NFL they're still watching. They haven't really checked into the NBA. They might go, oh, the Pacers, that should be a win. But this Pacers team, the energy I saw from that team really all season. But what I saw the other night when they beat the Celtics in the in-season tournament, this is a fun, young, hungry team in Indiana. So no, all of those teams are the top of the sport right now, especially including the Pacers that I wouldn't say are the top, but certainly having a good start to the season.
ESPN Analytics says 51.8 score prediction or win prediction, matchup predictor for the Grizzlies, 48.2. No, I'm sorry, 51.8 Detroit, 48.2 Memphis.
Well, Brett, I told
the
you
old
yesterday.
Matchup predictor.
Brett, I told you yesterday I had a bad feeling about this game. Just got a feeling in my gut. Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny for everyone that likes to, hate on the Grizzlies if they lost to Detroit? So, I mean,
it will be robust if that's the case.
And it's just really weird. I mean, we've talked about how weird the season has been, and kind of when you look at the last however many years, especially the years with Ja Morant, they've been pretty good, maybe outside of his first year. You look at most of the seasons before they got Ja, and obviously had to be pretty bad to get up to get Ja and to get Jaren. But when the core four was here, I mean, there hadn't been a ton of times in the last however many years that the Grizzlies are going up against a team that's on a 16-game losing streak, and you're going, oh, man, this is a toss-up. Betting line says Grizzlies by a few. The ESPN analytic whatever has the Pistons by a little bit. I mean, it's a weird time.
Both games going off, tipping it almost simultaneously. The ball will go in there almost at the exact same time. What will be the viewing preference tonight? I'd love to hear from people with that. 901-360-8255. I know you got a back button. I know you got multiple screens. But what will have your primary attention? Tigers at VCU or Grizzlies at Detroit?
That's a good question. I think for myself, main TV will have Tigers and VCU on it. Laptop will probably have Grizzlies and Pistons on it.
I'll be main TV, only TV, Tigers. No laptop access for me, but radio, Tigers.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, get a little Dave.
Hey, I agree. I love it on both ends.
What about you, Johnny? What's your
man? I'm going with the Tigers. It got to be the main on the TV. Okay. And I will, just for Bryant, have the Grizzlies on my laptop.
There you go.
I would have that.
But, I mean, the back button works just as
if I knew how and it was free, I would do it.
Well, it's neither of those things, I think, are applicable right now.
No, I do not know how, and it is not free.
Not free. So,
it is not free.
But, I mean, for the Grizzlies, I mean, I think, how good can you feel with the start of the season that the Grizzlies had? But you certainly feel a lot better if you can wake up tomorrow and say, we are winners of 3 of our last 4. I don't care. Right now.
Put a little something, string a little something together.
Right now, with what the injuries, the suspension, all of that, I don't care who you're playing. If you can wake up tomorrow and say, we've won 3 of our last 4, I think you feel really, really good.
And our good buddies Minnesota here Friday night.
How about that?
Got blasted by them the other time they've been here this year. That was by 22, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That was quite a loss. Over the holidays, I know a lot of family and friends in town. You want to take them out, but you want to have a lot of great food around the house. The commissary is a spot for all that. The new Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown for the holiday itself, for the 25th, or for other times during the holidays. You want the turkeys or the hams from the commissary. 901-754-5540. It's simple. Go online at commissarybbq.com and you can get the smoked turkey, the homemade corn dressing, the gravy, the cranberry sauce, the mashed potatoes, green beans, rolls, butter, plates, utensils. They do it all. There's a price point for everyone for whatever size crowd you have. Whole turkeys and hams, all the sides, the bulk pricing, and all the desserts. You can get it all at the commissary at 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com. You know the commissary since 1981, spreading all the holiday cheer with the Memphis-style barbecue and ribs that scream the Memphis slow-cooked way. And if you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Start with the appetizers like the cheese plate, or the smoked chicken wings, the tamales, or the barbecue nachos created in the early 80s by Walker Taylor and his team, now a staple at everything. Then dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well. And you can order it by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack, to have plenty of food around for the holiday season, for holiday get-togethers, for holiday parties at your house. And if you want to have a place to go with a big group, the Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, perfect for that. 901-754-5540, or go online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and in Germantown. The party areas, the orders to go, catering, tailgating, and the holiday bird. They got you covered at the commissary.
It is going to be a fun night tonight with both teams in action, the Grizzlies and the Tigers. Brett, you mentioned it, that both are tipping off at the same time, so you're going to have to be working the back button, or you're going to have multiple ways of watching if you want to watch both of these. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be talking about 2 wins. We'll talk, I'm sure, a little bit more about both these games as the show goes on. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company, will join us to talk college football. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
At Genesis Diamonds, we're rolling back prices and finance rates so you can get that special someone the most special gift ever. Maybe it's that pair of diamond earrings, or that all-new designer fashion bracelet, or that dazzling 2-carat diamond ring. It's all more affordable because at Genesis, we've got special pricing across the board and 0 interest for 5 years. So you can get that $3,000 diamond pendant and pay just $50 a month, or that $6,000 eternity band for just $100 a month. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer. All our GIA certified natural diamonds and all our lab-grown diamonds, even all our luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Imagine that $15,000 Rolex for just $250 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Don't let talk of rising prices and high interest rates dampen your holiday spirit. At Genesis, we're lowering prices and taking interest rates down to 0. Get that headliner gift they deserve and make your money go farther than ever. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended. On approved credit, see store for details.
My Westie.
Westie'sMemphis.com.
Westie's Hot Fudge Pie. By now, you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me? Wow. What you said?
Often imitated,
never duplicated.
The new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh my, so good.
We deliver 7 nights a week. Downtown Memphis.
Oh my.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
It's a Big Green Egg early Christmas at Cordova Ace Hardware, Friday, December 8th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll cook tenderloin, wings, pizza, and dessert all on the Big Green Egg. Try our new sauces and seasonings and check out the platinum selection of Big Green Egg equipment and accessories. Get $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kits. The Big Green Egg early Christmas party, Friday, December 8th, 11 to 6 at Cordova Ace Hardware, 1740 North Germantown.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit, no problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here the last few minutes, it's moving right now over here on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. We're watching traffic increase in the normal spots out here this time of the afternoon, especially up through Midtown area on 240 over here around Lamar. I did see a little bit of a slowdown. It looked to be there on 55 northbound at 269 down there north of Hernando in DeSoto County. Not sure what's going on, but now it looks like it's slow north and southbound. A crash must have occurred affecting both lanes. North and southbound on 55 at 269. We're looking at it live here in DeSoto County. It's running pretty slow. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. Go by and shop with them this holiday season. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk as David Cohn, the co-host of Crane & Company with Jake Crane, joins Bryant, Brett, and Jay Morgan, a college quarterback at Michigan, a tall man that's on Twitter at David Adam Cohn. Here's David with Bryant and Brett.
David Cohn joins us now, the co-host of Crane & Company. He joins us every single week to talk college football, and he's back again. David, I guess let's start with the debate that the entire country has been having really since Saturday night. Should Florida State be in? Should they not be in? We learned on Sunday that they were not in. What did you make of the committee's decision to put Texas and Alabama in to the playoff and leave an undefeated Power 5 conference champ Florida State out?
Well, I've heard for the last 10 years, boys, win and you're in.
That's
I've
right.
heard that phrase so many times. I didn't hear it a lot this past couple weeks, though, because I think we knew the direction it was headed. Look, here's what I have to say on it. College football is a broken and unserious sport, and I hate to say it because it's my favorite, and I think it's a lot of y'all's favorite, too. But, any sport where we're going to allow a bureaucratic committee to convene behind closed doors and pick the postseason participants, that is an unserious sport to me. Anytime we will allow an undefeated league champ with a brand, too, Florida State's a big brand, to go unbeaten and not even have a path to compete in the championship, I don't care who's hurt on their team. I don't care if the whole team's hurt. That's an unserious sport. And then likewise, anytime that we would have an SEC champion, right, who's been the most dominant league in the country in college football, be able to win 11 straight games and unseat the back-to-back champ Georgia Bulldogs, if they don't have a path to win the national championship, then that's unserious as well. So this committee, I don't blame this committee, okay? This committee fell on their sword. They played the villain role, and they did what they had to do. They gave us a more compelling playoff matchup. Michigan and a full-strength Alabama rather than a Florida State team that was going to have a backup quarterback, even though I think they were judging the third-string quarterback in the ACC championship game that Saturday night. But Tate Rodemaker undoubtedly would have been back for Florida State. But either way, they gave us the more compelling matchup, and I think, the way I had it shake out was Michigan 1, I had Washington 2, I had Florida State 3, an undefeated league champ, and then Texas 4, just because of the head-to-head earlier with Alabama. And, Brett, you had asked me throughout the season, hey, this is going to shape up to be problematic unless Texas loses another game, and they never did. And even when I filled out my list, it never sat right with me. I looked at it for an hour straight. It never sat right with me that the winner of the SEC, be that Georgia or Alabama, somehow wouldn't be in. That's just silly to think, right? Like one way or another it would have to work out like that. But it just, the national landscape this time, for the first time, worked against the SEC. But I think we were all kidding ourselves, boys, because one way or another they were going to get in. And honestly, Texas is kind of lucky because if Alabama had lost to Auburn the week before and didn't convert that 4th and 31 Hail Mary that they needed, and they still beat Georgia, and they were a 2-loss SEC champ, make no mistake about it, Georgia just would have been slid into that 4th role, but I think it would have been Florida State being kept at 3. See, Alabama and Texas were a package deal because Texas had that head-to-head. So they had to go ahead and move both of them ahead of Florida State. Florida State's going to be on the outside looking in. And it's unfortunate for them, but I still think a month from now we're going to be looking down the barrel of a very competitive and compelling college football playoff.
Yeah, it's going to be good when we get to it, but it is very untidy right now, and I don't blame Florida State at all for being mad. David, what I have said all year is this was good, really good SEC. It just wasn't vintage. It was good Alabama. I don't think it's vintage. They may win it. They're going to have a parade, and they'll display the championship trophy just like they do for any title. But it would probably be the least best team of Nick Saban's to win a national title. I didn't think it was going to happen Sunday morning. I was on live on a show in Little Rock, and I had the same order you had, but I knew when Texas popped up there as the 3, FSU was in really big trouble.
I said the same thing to my wife when Texas, and some people had Texas at 3, and then they put Florida State at 4, and I was shaking my head, and we had just gotten done doing a show too. I said, no. If they let one-loss team jump Florida State, best believe they're going to have the SEC team.
The gates are open.
That's what leads to just how hypocritical this process played out with the committee down the stretch. One, we knew Jordan Travis got injured weeks ago, but they never moved Florida State below a one-loss team. And then to say that, well, Florida State with the key injury to the quarterback position is clearly not better than Texas or Alabama, but they're still better than Georgia and Ohio State, and they put them at 5. Are you kidding me? Have some consistency. Move them all the way back to 10 or 11 and put them back with Ole Miss and Penn State if you think that the quarterback injury hinders them that much. But, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because, look, Alabama, like you said, can not only go forward and beat Michigan. I mean, Nick Saban is the track record this guy has in the postseason, and give him a month of December to prepare is just incredible. But they'll likely win the whole thing, right? Like, no one's going to be surprised if Alabama wins the national championship. Right. And that's not what people were arguing. People weren't arguing that this Alabama team is not really good or that they're not the hottest team in the country. It's just that we have seen through every iteration of college football, pre-BCS, BCS, and now the college football playoff, that there's too much subjectivity when it comes to crowning these champions, and it's really disappointing. And it was sort of that first time that I had seen it cut against the SEC like that, which was surprising. But they still got the benefit of the doubt, and in many respects, in most years, they have earned that because the conference has been so dominant.
In most.
In most years. This one really surprises me because, like I said, we've always heard that phrase, win and you're in, and Florida State did that. They won. And it really comes down to what I think has become the worst phrase in all of sport, and that phrase is the 4 best teams. Through that phrase right there, we allow a group of men, many of whom have never put on shoulder pads or a helmet, to convene behind locked doors and tell us who they think the 4 best teams are. Well, you know what? If we allowed that to happen, I heard for the last 6 weeks, there's no doubt that Oregon would win a rematch against Washington if they could face off on a neutral site.
That's right.
Vegas even thought so and put them as 10-point favorites. Yeah. Thank goodness I didn't listen to them because I had Washington in the college football playoff preseason, and they're there now. So I don't want to listen to a group of people who tell me who the 4 best teams are. You know who decides who the 4 best teams are? Is the football field, and that's how we should leave it.
That's right. Well, I want to talk about Washington, but I want to ask you one more question about this Florida State team, because Mike Norvell, obviously here in Memphis, we're all very familiar with him and the type of coach he is, but what have you made of the job he's done? I mean, we remember those first couple of seasons, very rocky years for him as the head coach. A lot of people towards that second year, towards the end of that, wanted him out of Florida State. Now turning it around and really most of the country thinking they should have been in the college football playoffs this year. What have you made of that job Mike Norvell has done at Florida State?
Oh, it's incredible. I'm so proud of what he's done. And we remember, first of all, I grew up a Florida State fan. I'm from South Georgia, so that, my parents met at Florida State. That was the closest college to I wanted to play at Florida State. It didn't shake out that way, but I've always just respected that program. And when I was growing up, it was me and Peter Warwick, all those great Seminole greats playing for them. But then the brand really took a hit. I mean, when Jimbo Fisher left after that national championship to go to Texas A&M and pretty much said it's because of the resources. Yeah. They're not giving me any of the resources I need here. Then all of a sudden they rattle off, 5 straight, maybe more losing seasons? I thought, wow. They really, in Tallahassee, they really are not valuing football the way they used to.
It's over.
And then at the beginning of last season, Mike Norvell entered, and he was certainly on the hot seat. And then they overperformed last year. He gets things off the ground. It was impressive to see. And then to follow that up this year with the performance they've had. Now, look, they had some ugly games down the stretch, too, playing tight at Boston College and things like that. But, man, that defense is incredible. Forget about Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson and Jordan Travis and everything that they were able to do on the offensive side of the football. But the defense is what was so impressive to me. And even here down the stretch, when they got spotty quarterback play with backups, they were able to have, a double-digit win on the road, I believe, at Florida, a double-digit win over what's a really good Louisville team. The thing that has bothered me most here, I think, since Sunday is to see, and it's not just from Alabama fans or Southeastern Conference fans, but to see sort of the lack of disrespect towards Florida State. Like, if you're going to play this thing out, to me, you have to use the quarterback Jordan Travis injury as the only reasoning. Now, I still think that a key player injury, which the committee does have in their criteria, that to me is a tiebreaker scenario. If all things are even, if all teams are undefeated or everyone's a conference champ or they both are similar in the eye test, that shouldn't be used to go to the very front. But even still, that would be the main reasoning that I think most fans should use is that, hey, Florida State's just not the same team without their quarterback. What I've heard way too much of since Sunday is, Florida State doesn't play anyone, and the ACC isn't any good.
Beat LSU back-to-back years.
What really bothers me about it is that I don't think the people who are saying that took the time to watch the games. And sometimes I have to remind myself, David, not everybody watches every game. Like, I have to do that to make a living, right? But some people just watch their teams, and they don't really keep up with the other teams. I watch this Florida State team play every single week, and if they played a week non-conference schedule and then played the ACC schedule, there'd be something to that. But they went out of their way to schedule LSU week 1. That was the toughest opening game of the season, back-to-back years now. And they beat LSU worse than Alabama did by 3 touchdowns. So to me, if you're gonna justify this argument, you have to just zero in on the fact that that's not the same team when Jordan Travis goes out, and that there are only 4 spots. And really, you could say there are 7 deserving teams, because not only that first 6 that the committee listed, but look, Ohio State, too, is a really solid football team, and they only lose by 6 on the road at Michigan.
1 loss.
It was good for college football to see this much parity, and honestly, to be having the argument that we are having, I think will be good for college football, especially if the 12-team playoff sort of goes to a more objective metrics for the automatic qualifiers.
All right, for a committee going forward, I think it should be smaller and it should be more transparent.
Yes, well, 100%. Both of those things are true, but what would be better yet is for there to be no committee involved at all. I mean, when's the last time you've seen the NFL playoff committee get the playoff spots wrong? oh wait, they don't have one. It's you win your division and you get in. That's what I mean when I say it as it's sort of an unserious.
What are the mechanisms to do that, though, David?
The mechanism. I don't blame this committee for giving us a more compelling matchup. I blame the selection mechanism. I blame the people who are giving the committee their marching orders, right? Which I think that the TV dollars are certainly involved in all that. I said, look, all of us want to see the most compelling playoff matchup. I understand that. But at some point, you would have written off the Philadelphia Eagles when Carson Wentz went down and Nick Foles steps in and he wins a Super Bowl, right? That's what happens sometimes as a team sport.
I would have written off Jim Craig as the goalie in 1980 in Lake Placid, especially after they lost 10-3 to the Soviet Union in Madison Square Garden about 2 weeks before that. David Cohn, our guest, talking college football. I know it's going to be tough at your house now, David. If you have to go to the guest house or to the extra bedroom, if you need a good place, we're here for you because it's going to be throw down at y'all's house for the Michigan
I
Bama.
might need to take you up on that, man. The farm out there with my father-in-law Richard Todd, an Alabama great, played for Bear Bryant. That farm has been the safe haven when Michigan plays Ohio there for Thanksgiving. In fact, I haven't seen Michigan beat Ohio any other time but these last 3 years when I've been at the family farm. But I can tell you right now, that will not be a New Year's Eve tradition.
You're going to be on the back 40 acres, though, this time.
It's a house divided this time, and honestly, that's how we love it. It's going to be an incredible matchup, and to me, if you're Michigan, you need to embrace this. Because last year you got the benefit of the doubt with the easier draw in TCU, and how'd that work out for you? You lost the game. And the year before you got the tougher draw in Georgia, and they spanked you. So for Michigan, it's proven it doesn't matter if you get the tough draw or the easy draw. All you've done in the college football playoff is lost. And now it's time for that to change. This will be the best roster and the best quarterback that Jim Harbaugh has gone not only into a season with, but specifically into the college football playoff. And like you mentioned, Brett, this will be one of the more, let's phrase it like this, less elite rosters that Nick Saban has gone into a playoff. Still one of the better ones in the country, one of the best defenses.
Really, really good.
Really, really, really good. But let's not kid ourselves. If you're Michigan, you're not playing the 2020 Alabama team or some of those other national championship teams they've had. So to me, this
11
is
and
a
12.
brand-defining game. It's a brand-defining game for Michigan. This is not what you can't go in there now and lose this football game and really lose all the momentum that you've been able to build up these past couple years because everything changes next year. The landscape changes so much with conference expansion, playoff expansion. Jim Harbaugh still under investigation. Is he going to the NFL? All the seniors that came back this year are now leaving. They really need to step up and win this football game.
Yeah, it's going to be the fun one for sure. Talking to David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company. On the other side, Washington and Texas. And speaking of this Washington team, you were talking about it earlier. They a great season for them, but then they go into the Pac-12 championship game as a 9.5, 10-point underdog. And really, if they had kept their foot on the gas, they could have won that game, that championship game, by 10 points, being a 10-point underdog. What did you make of that game and that response to kind of all week of hearing how good this Oregon team is, how much better this Oregon team is than Washington? What did you make of that response by Washington to put on that show against Oregon?
I thought it was standard operating procedure from what I'd seen all year. It was the most disrespectful line that I saw this entire year. And yes, full disclosure, I have former teammates of mine I played with at Michigan who are best friends of mine. They're on the coaching staff at Washington, so I keep up with them very closely. But I don't know another member of sports media really who picked Washington to be in their college football playoff. I went out on a limb in doing so, trusting that defense would be a little more improved because I knew what they had on offense. Michael Penix Jr. is an NFL player. They have not 2, but 3 NFL wide receivers when you start to talk about Odunze, McMillan, and Polk. So the question was, would their defense be improved enough? And yes, of course, the way they played after the Oregon win and the way that Oregon played after losing to Washington, I understand what people saw. It would have been very believable to pick Oregon in that football game in the conference championship. That's not what was disrespectful. A 10-point underdog, the way that Michael Penix Jr. and that team had really showcased that
it's all they
can
needed
be
for
physical.
motivation.
Yeah, it was. But it was a great football game. I'm so proud of the way that Bo Nix has responded. You know, I don't know all the details of what went on at Auburn. I just know he loved Auburn and he was an Auburn guy. He gave Auburn everything he had. Whatever happened with him and Brian Harsin, I don't know. But I was so happy that Bo Nix went on, had a tremendous success at Oregon. I love the fact that he's going to be in New York this weekend as a Heisman Trophy finalist, and he gave us a couple epic showdowns this year. But hats off to Washington for just basically absorbing. They didn't do a lot of talking. They absorbed all that hatred, everybody questioning them. They showed up, and they go undefeated in a Pac-12 that we said, guys, this is the best version of the Pac-12 we've ever seen. I know it's just so ironic that it happens to be the last year of the conference, but, man, all the teams out there that were really playing great football, and Washington finds a way to go unbeaten. So when you look at the matchup with Texas, I haven't decided yet who I'm going to take in the football game because every week that I've looked at Texas, they just look better and better. And honestly, I think Michigan got the better draw of playing Alabama rather than Texas. Now, of course, they would have liked to play a Florida State team with a backup quarterback. But when you look at what Steve Sarkisian and Quinn Ewers are able to do, especially on that deep third of the field with taking those shots and stretching you vertically, it's going to be an incredible matchup because that's what Washington does as well. And Texas on the defensive side of the ball, they're so good in the front seven. Not many teams have been able to run on them, but their one weakness is in that back third, and that's exactly what Washington wants to attack. So I'm very interested to see what sort of schemes get drawn up for this. Whatever the over-under is, trust me, I'll be taking the over.
If I'm Mike Norvell, here's my curfew at the bowl game. Just don't get arrested.
Oh, Mike Norvell?
Yeah. For FSU's players, night before the game, 2 nights before the game, 6 nights before the game, you can stay out till sunup. Just don't get arrested.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. That one will be interesting. I don't know what we're going to see from an opt-out standpoint. I know that Florida State just came out today and said that Johnny Wilson is going to opt out of the bowl game, which I hate to see.
Yeah.
You know, I'm interested to see is Georgia really going to be champing at the bit to win that playoff game against Florida State?
Same for Kirby, and especially in Georgia. Be careful in a car.
Yeah, like he's proven he can galvanize that team even after they've been national champs. So they're going to be ready to go, but are some guys going to opt out? And then is Florida State going to just take this as an extreme lack of disrespect and they try really hard in the bowl game, or are guys going to kind of mail it in because they didn't go to the playoff and they're getting ready for the NFL? I mean, some of those, like I just said, Johnny Wilson's going to opt out. Don't know about Keon Coleman yet. Don't know about Jared Verse on the defensive side yet, but I'm hoping that enough of those guys play so that Georgia-Florida State matchup delivers for us.
David, as we say goodbye, introduce to our listeners everybody in the vehicle with you.
Oh, well, I got my wife here,
Very
Darby
good.
Lou Cohn. I got Adam and baby Ava here. I hope they weren't too loud, but we're on route to Atlanta, and we're passing through Chattanooga.
Wow.
Salute. Be safe, David Cohn. It was fun, and your children were great. Thank you.
Thanks, David. I always appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thanks, David.
Thank you very much. David Cohn talking college football with us. He's co-host of Crane and Company. You hear Jake Crane every Monday.
That's right.
Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
Right out of the gate with
Right
John.
out of the gate, 11:10.
11:10 every Monday, and they do a great job. The passion that they cover college football. I don't think you can do anything well without passion, and they have it. And he's been with us all year. Will be with us through the national championship. Sissy's Log Cabin, their official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Tigers. They've got the hometown teams covered, and we're going to be there on Friday the 15th for a remote at the new location opening in Laurelwood. Bill Jones and his great team, they're here to stay. Others blow in and blow out overnight, not Sissy's Log Cabin. They're part of the fabric of the community, supporters of the Grizzlies, supporters of Tigers Athletics, sponsor of our Look Back every Monday all season long at 4:30 in the SEC, and they have the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings. The time of the year for engagement rings is right now. If it's not now, it's coming up in Valentine's. It's getting really close. But this is the Super Bowl for that type of purchase. Over 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. And when we're there that Friday, we're going to give away 2 seats on the wood for Wednesday night, January 3rd, against Toronto, we can attest there's not a better seat in the building than those seats. You're in the
right
action. We're going to give those away. We'll give them away about 5:25 or so that Friday afternoon. But you need to come by and register plenty early. We have other stuff to give away as well. Since 1970, with 6 great locations across Arkansas and Tennessee, Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
And speaking of places we're going to be, Brett, I want to remind everybody that this Friday, along with John Harden, we're going to be at Cordova Ace
If John
Hardware.
doesn't burn the place down before we get there.
Yeah, they got to keep an eye on John. But from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll be out there, 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's for the Big Green Egg early Christmas at Cordova Ace Hardware. We're going to have a ton of things going on. We're going to be grilling on the Big Green Egg, tenderloin, wings, pizza, dessert, all of that on the Big Green Egg. They've got great deals on Big Green Eggs and Big Green Egg accessories. So make sure you come out there, hang out with us this Friday from 11 to 6. We're going to be giving away prizes and a ton of giveaways. So make sure you come out to Cordova Ace Hardware, 1740 Germantown Parkway.
Better show up hungry.
This Friday. Yeah, show up hungry. I mean, wings, pizza, desserts, all made on the Big Green Egg. You don't want to miss that. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this weekend, some of these NFL games and the lone college football game. What are those lines looking like on a Wednesday afternoon? We'll do that next on Sportstime.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Merry Christmas from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. We're here to make your holiday season extra cozy and cheerful. For the first 50 customers who purchase a new Carrier system or tankless water heater, we have a special gift for you. Choose from a free 75-inch smart TV, a PlayStation 5, an Xbox X, a Nintendo Switch, or a $500 gift card on us. It's our way of spreading holiday joy. But hurry, this festive offer will only last through December 24th. Enjoy a comfortable Christmas and a special present from Choate's. Because when you choose us, you're not just a customer, you're family. Schedule your free estimate today at 901-347-8086. Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Let our family serve your family this holiday season. Wishing you a warm and joyful Christmas from Choate's.
Are you wearing a hat that says meat?
Yep, it's the final piece of my collection.
Your collection of meat hats?
My collection of Central Barbecue merchandise.
Okay, I've noticed you have a few Central Barbecue t-shirts.
A few. I've got a lot of Central Barbecue t-shirts. In fact, I have them all.
How many are there?
Well, let's see. There's 11 of the basic t-shirts.
11?
And like all other cool Central Barbecue merch, they're available at eatcbq.com.
Did you just use the word merch in conversation?
Not just any merch. CBQ merch. Hats, t-shirts, cups, even kids and baby clothes for when the little me comes along. That kid's going to love Central Barbecue because they have such great
merch.
Ribs.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's slow go out here due to an accident as we stare at it live, both 40 east and westbound at Canada Road. Again, it's just a lot of rubbernecking going on. The crash went into the grassy medium there in the middle. Again, it's got it slow pretty good now on 40 east especially. Trying to get out past Canada Road. It's just, again, a lot of rubbernecking going on out here on this side of town because of this crash. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. Shop local this holiday season at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We got to take a look at some of the early lines for this weekend, mainly the NFL this weekend. No really college football games. One college football game, Army versus Navy, which I guess next year both will have an American patch on their jersey, but it won't be a conference game. Whatever.
It gets really weird. College football, I swear, I think has gotten messier in all the attempts to kind of make it more linear and clean things up. And I was afraid that would happen, Bryant. I of course, I'm kidding. I'm not serious when I say I would love to go back to AP and UPI. We're not doing that. No, you don't go backwards in anything. I understand that, but I swear I think we used to have more resolution.
Yeah, I think we did, and I think, there's certainly a give and take. I think you can take away some things that, certainly the game is better because of this, but then that same reason why the game is better in
certainly
this
more
aspect,
profitable.
It's worse in some ways. And
it is. It's a little like replay.
Yeah.
Remember what? Well, it's a little like the vaccine. Remember when that was going to be so perfect?
That's right.
And how perfect was it?
Well, that's a good question.
I mean, so many things, is sold as this is going to take all the variables, all the nuance out of it, and it only adds to it. Replay was going to be matter of fact. And I swear, if you watch anything in 1090i a million times, you can see anything in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I think, that's kind of what we're at is everything that's proposed. This is going to be perfect. This is going to advance the game 10 times, and then we do it, we're all excited about it, and then we go, we didn't think about this, we didn't see this is an issue, and it took us how many years? And
I didn't mean for it to get to replay. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't know I was even going to go there. But here's something you can count on.
Okay.
College TV ref in the booth
man.
never disagrees with the call. ever.
No.
He's going to support his buddies
Got to,
every time.
Every single time.
NFL
Yes.
TV ref
Yes.
will call it straight, especially Terry McCullough. McCullough.
Ooh, yeah.
Help me. I don't know.
I think it is McCullough, but like he calls it straight.
He
for
does.
real.
He calls it straight as a
He
pin,
calls it
Johnny,
straight.
and it's so refreshing. Just if his old buds, his old chums are mad, and now I don't blame them because we made the hardest, most thankless job on earth harder and more thankless.
Well, yes, we did. But you're not wrong. I mean, in college, it's whatever the call on the field is. Yep, they made the right call. You see this, this,
college
and that.
TV
and
ref.
it's
College TV
always the right
ref.
call.
He's not going to disagree with the call on the field. And okay, I understand that they're not making what the NFL guys are, and it's not just a hobby. I know I'm good friends with several college football referees, and I know there's no there. They're not throwing any game. Nobody's gotten to them. There's no way that crap's happening with any of them. They don't want the blunder. They don't want it going around social media.
No, and Brett, I haven't brought this up, but it's almost like the same of on ESPN on Sunday when they unveiled the top four, and every single person associated with ESPN on ESPN the entire day was, yep, the committee got it right. These are the four teams that deserve to be in there. And I think Booger was the only one that was like, no.
Yeah, he was the only one,
This is not
Brian.
what should
He
have happened.
was.
And everybody
He
else
was.
was like, no, you're wrong. It should have been these four teams. Well, of
Yeah.
course they're going to say that.
Of course they're
this
going to
is-
say that,
These are
yeah.
games that are going to be on ESPN. That's going to
Now-
make ESPN a ton of money.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
But ESPN kind of having the fix in with SEC is ludicrous.
Yes, that's crazy.
Because they wholly own and operate the ACC network.
Right.
I think they share the same buildings in Charlotte. I think.
Really?
I think.
Interesting.
There's not that there, but it sure looks like a lot of collusion. Here's something, Brian, and it's very generational. It was well before me.
Okay.
Are you at all familiar with the name, the long-distance runner, Roger Bannister?
Maybe? I don't
First
know.
sub 4-minute mile.
Okay.
That's what he's famous for.
Yes.
Okay. And that was, that was going to Pluto.
Yeah, right.
Now you just, everybody but me can run the sub 4-minute mile.
That's right.
Bruce Marshall
Yeah.
Bruce Marshall has a great theory about Roger Bannister, and he thinks it's happened now in sports handicapping. Forever, you just didn't go under for an over and under around 30 or 31.
Right.
You just didn't do it. He thinks Iowa's the Roger Bannister of
Really?
cracking that ceiling.
Oh, man.
Look at the Army-Navy over under.
What, 27.5 is
Yeah.
what I just saw it at? I mean,
That's
Lord.
probably what it should have been forever, but they just wouldn't post it as that.
No. And now when they're just
And
losing
I'm sorry for
money.
coughing.
No, you're all
I'm
good.
sorry to the audience for coughing.
But I mean, every week early in the season, Vegas is losing money because they won't put the Iowa line low, and then finally midway through the season they go, we have to put it at like 28.5. I mean, what are we supposed to do? And then they put it there, and Iowa still goes under it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I kind of thought Michigan would get there by themselves.
Yeah.
Saturday against Iowa and still could not. But the Army-Navy game this week, I know it's in Boston this week, and I'm going to look and see. I think it really starts to shop around at a lot of places. It's going to be a while before it's back kind of Meadowlands, I think. I'm going to look that up right now at FBS schedules, and they're really aspirational for taking it on the road with future sites, and I think that's good for it. It's been around a lot of places, but New York, Philly has kind of always been – Baltimore has kind of always been the thing for it.
Yeah, no, and right now Army, a 3-point favorite in that game, like we said, 27.5, and it looks like money coming in on the under, even set at 27.5. More. It looks like maybe a little more coming in on the under than the over, sitting at 27.5. So I mean,
Foxborough this year,
Okay.
Landover next year, Baltimore in 25.
Wow.
back to the MetLife in 26,
Okay.
27 Philadelphia, 28 undecided. I think by that point in 28, take it left coast.
I like it. Why not? Be fun. I mean, it's always a fun game. I think, it's one of those where all season nobody pays much attention to these two teams. But then when this game comes around, everyone is tuned in watching these two academies. And it's because of not only the game being the only game, but the sights of it, the pageantry, just seeing all
Their
that.
commitment.
It is so cool to watch and see. And I know this Saturday I'm going to have a lot of fun watching that one.
And I went in 2001. Hard for me to believe, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Since I went 14 weeks after 9/11. The security was unbelievable. When the president was at the game and made the ceremonial change sides at halftime, and so much fun and just great. I went to the last one at the Vet.
Wow.
Yeah, which it counts triple to be at that ramshackle place, but a great game and they get after it and defeated team sings first and the winner sings second.
That's right. It's always a lot of fun, and it's sure going to be a lot of fun this Saturday. All right, bro, let's get to these NFL games over the weekend. Let's start with Thursday Night Football. Dandy, Patriots versus Steelers. Right now,
what's that over and under?
30.
Look out, Roger Bannister.
Look out. I mean, a 30, and you start getting used to it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are
30
the
in a
Iowa
December
Cyclones of the
game.
NFL. Yeah, I mean, it's...
we see that on a Thursday night, August 17th.
That's right. No, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe rename them Iowa or rename Iowa the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they're identical to each other, and yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised at all if that game goes under on Thursday. Two really, really bad offenses.
Yeah, with not a lot of direction for the Patriots. We'll talk a lot more about it tomorrow, but the rest of the weekend in the NFL, those 6-6 teams, somebody's got to hit the accelerator.
Yeah, no, something's got to give for these teams, and there's some really intriguing games. I think one that I immediately went to, kind of looking at these 6-6 teams, is Colts and Bengals. Noon on Sunday, and for the Colts, playing a backup quarterback, but then
Minshew mania,
but then you got the Bengals coming in, Jake Browning on a short week after his best performance since becoming a Bengal. I mean,
and that's the Apple Cup going at it. That's UW Washington State going at it.
That's right. So you've another storyline to attach to that game. But right now, it looks like the Colts a 1-point favorite that total at 43.5. So I mean, looks like a lot of people split on that one as well.
It's some different quarterback play out there in the NFL this year. I mean, look at some of these starters for December games. You just never would have imagined it.
No, I mean, there's been a lot of injuries, and we talked, what was it, a couple of weeks ago when old Tommy DeVito was going to make his first start for the Giants, and we were talking about just the 11 rookie starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, have fun.
Sure.
That's a good way to get hurt.
That's right.
Being a rookie starting
really
quarterback in December when nobody made plans for that. At Jason's Deli, all the great locations that you can enjoy, like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. And at all those locations, you get that great Jason's Deli service. Whether you're dining in, you're getting it to go, or you want it delivered, they've got you covered. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing. And for any group, 5 or 5,000, a lot of group get-togethers right now. So much fun being had this time of year. Let Jason's Deli do all the work for you. Same day and last-minute orders are welcome. That's when they excel. Professional setup included with delivery by their own delivery drivers who have food handling permits. House accounts available. Contact your local deli for that. Low delivery fees. They will take care of you at Jason's Deli with all that spread, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some office get-togethers want to do a breakfast-type deal. They got you covered with the Sunshine breakfast box. Then at lunchtime, the pasta feast. Dinner time, the Plain Jane potato bar, and so much more, like all those salads, all the meats, the cheese, the breads, the spreads, and those salads like the salad bar in every location, over 30 items to choose from. Catering anytime, anywhere, and all those salads on the menu, like my favorite, the taco salad, the Big Chef salad, the Mesa chicken salad, and more. It's all about choice at Jason's Deli. Trans fat free, healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. Plenty of organic food to choose from. Locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Cordova, and Olive Branch. And in all those locations, any time of year, complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, let's get to a quick break. When we come back, it will be time for Big Number of the Day.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. Be sure to schedule your delivery for the next game at hogsfly.com or come visit us in the alley.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the TaylorMade Stilt 2 Carbon Woods that combine speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I have one big number and then another smaller number that goes with the big number. My big number today is 1999. Brett, you brought a number like that yesterday, and I thought it was going to be a year, but it was not for you. Mine is a year. Mine is the year 1999. Last night, Illinois beat FAU 98-89 in what was a really fun start to the Jimmy V Classic. And in that game, Terrence Shannon Jr. And Marcus Domask both scored 33 points for the Illini. It is the first time D1 teammates have scored 30 or more points on the same night and both shot 70% or better from the field in the same game since 1999 when Thomas Kinney and Drew Samuels did it for Marist in a loss against Niagara. It is also the second time.
I think Marist was still the Red Foxes then.
They probably were a loss against Niagara, so they did it in a loss against Niagara. These two did it in a win against the 11th ranked team in the country. 2 is my second number, a smaller number. It is the second time in the last 10 seasons that Illinois has had multiple 30-point scores in the same game. Second time for that to happen in the last 10 years. That's very impressive.
Brian, I'm proud of you, bro. I love it, man. Good job, man.
Johnny, I don't think I can go Roger Bannister and go sub 4 minute here.
Hey, man, Brett, I know you got something amazing, but Brian, great job.
Thank you. I don't know if I can go Bob Beeman in Mexico City and jump out of the world like he did in the long jump that year. Brian, did you? Now I know they all do to me. Did you notice this? And tell me if you didn't. That's fine because it happens to me a lot. How young did Illinois look?
Yes, they have some young
goodness.
looking players on their team. Yes, I
Well,
agree.
they're 20. They are young.
They are young. Not much younger than me, but yes, they're young.
Boy, they
young
really
guys.
did. They really did look young. I think FAU's really good.
I think so.
But that was a
fun
loss
game.
the league needed. My number, 1846.
Wow. Is this a year this time?
Not a year. It's the number of votes that Joe Burrow beat Jalen Hurts for the Heisman in 2019. It was 2006-08 for Burrow to 762 for Hurts. Justin Fields was third. I don't think even if he wins it, Jaden Daniels can have that kind of landslide.
No. I mean, I would say right now Jaden Daniels is my favorite to win it, but I think
3 losses is hurting him with some.
Certainly going to hurt him. I think there's also going to be some Michael Penix voters coming in there strong and heavy, and so I think it'll be close between those two. But those are certainly my top 2.
I really labored over my vote. I watched the game Friday night and then watched the rest of the weekend. But Friday was really a kick point for me for Penix Knicks. And we'll see how close it is when it's revealed Saturday night. But I don't think it'll be that kind of Burrow landslide because remember, Burrow had a 0
Right.
in losses
Right.
on one of the 2 or 3 best teams ever. It was so good it made it look easy for Ed Orgeron.
Hey, that is a good point that we bring up every once in a while. Of Ed Orgeron did it. It wasn't Nick Saban.
I don't have the heart to break this line out to David Cohn,
no.
our friend that joined us a little bit ago.
Yes.
But remember this: Ed Orgeron has more national championships than Bo Schembechler and Jim Harbaugh combined.
Ooh.
1-0.
Yeah, Brett. Maybe leave that one in your back pocket when we're talking
just
to our friend.
Better
David.
left unsaid, isn't it?
Yeah, but now we know, and we can all just hold that together.
Hey, Brett. By the way, another great big number, Brett. I love it, man.
Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny.
Huh?
Whose was better?
See, that's where you go wrong. You know what, man? Okay. Brett, I'm sorry. Brian had you today.
Right.
Brian had you today, Brett.
Good.
He had you today.
I thought he did too.
Hey, Brett, I love the. Hey, man. Great
It's a
job.
big number. I mean,
it was amazing big
it's a big number.
I'm proud of
And when
you,
you
man.
look at this
I like Johnny playing the role of the finish judge at the Olympics in platform diving.
Yes. Give us a score. Tell us the winner now.
I love that, Johnny.
Hey, man.
It's great.
Hey, I love this segment. This is my favorite segment.
Thank you, Johnny. But no, Brett, we haven't, we're going to talk about college basketball in our next segment when Kevin Sweeney joins us. But that Illinois FAU game was a really fun game, and I think
that was high level. That was,
it
that
really
was good
was.
stuff.
And
Great setting.
Much closer than the final score indicates.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 2-point game with 2 minutes left. And really, the difference was Florida Atlantic, and I think they even talked about. I think Dusty Mays even talked about it a little bit after the game. Of they've got some small guards, in that starting lineup that they have to really rely on. And Illinois put out a lineup. Me and John were talking about it earlier. He said, "Man, they just look real big out there." And I said, "Well, they're not huge, but they rolled out a lineup.
Big.
They're big. I mean, they rolled out a lineup last night where their smallest guy on the court was 6'6". Now their tallest guy on the court was about 6'9". But when you can go out there and 1 through 5, you're 6'6" or taller, especially against a team like Florida Atlantic that has several shorter guards. I mean, that's a big difference maker. So that was a fun one tonight. I'm really excited to get to the top of the hour and talk college basketball with Kevin Sweeney. So let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk college basketball with Kevin Sweeney.
It's a Big Green Egg early Christmas at Cordova Ace Hardware Friday, December 8th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll cook tenderloin, wings, pizza, and dessert all on the Big Green Egg. Try our new sauces and seasonings and check out the platinum selection of Big Green Egg equipment and accessories. Get $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kits. The Big Green Egg early Christmas party Friday, December 8th, 11 to 6 at Cordova Ace Hardware, 1740 North Germantown.
My Westies.
WestiesMemphis.com.
Westie's Hot Fudge Pie. By now, you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me? Wow. What you said?
Often imitated,
Never duplicated.
the new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh my, so good.
We deliver 7 nights a week.
Downtown Memphis.
Oh my.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
I just left those Ford and Toyota dealers. You ought to see their selection of new cars and trucks. And you should see their prices. Santa Trades at Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Top trade-in for old sleds, immediate financing, a true bargain lot with cars and trucks under $99.95. And remember, Sunrise specializes in first-time buyers. Want to buy a car or truck and have some left over for the holidays? SunriseMemphis.com. Covington, Pipe, Wolf Chase, and Collierville. Happy holidays.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for You. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
While interest rates are on the rise everywhere else, at Genesis Diamonds, they have got just the relief you need this holiday season. 5 years, 0 interest on anything and everything. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine. That's right. Genesis is rolling back interest rates to 0.0%. So that $5,000 ring is yours for just $85 a month. Nothing's held back. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, even luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Just pick any item for that special someone and spread your payments out over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. A $10,000 designer ring comes to just $167 a month. Don't miss this incredible offer. Where else in America can you get financing for 0%? Colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry, the year's most treasured gifts, all included in this once-a-year offer. This Christmas in Memphis, you have a great alternative so you can get more for your money. That alternative is Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
On approved credit, see store for details.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park and New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're trying to fill out paperwork on an earlier crash we had on 40 that was affecting east and westbound. Traffic flow out there in Canada Road. Eastbound's already heavy enough as it is this time of the afternoon. All it's doing is aggravating that heavy traffic flow on 40 East, let's say now from Sycamore View Road all the way out until you get past Canada Road where that accident occurred out there. It's mostly rubbernecking. I don't see a lot of lane blockage, but they're filling out paperwork, and again, it's got traffic crazy slow going eastbound on I-40 out there at Canada Road. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. Shop local this holiday season. Go by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we're kicking off our final hour on this Wednesday with Kevin Sweeney at CBB_Central on Twitter, also with Sports Illustrated. Kevin Sweeney joins us now to talk some college basketball. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. I know a lot to get to today, but I want to start off with the Tigers, the Memphis Tigers. They've lost back-to-back games against Villanova and then again over the weekend against Ole Miss. What have you made of this team's performance in these last two games?
Yeah, I think I appreciate you having me as always, guys. Like, I don't think either are necessarily alarm bell performances, but at the end of the day, like, those are the games when Penny Hardaway sits there and complains about not getting enough respect, not being ranked in the top 25, things like that. Like, you've had opportunities now and you haven't taken them. Again, I don't think long-term I have too many reservations. Like, I think they've proven themselves to be a competitive team, a team that can contend for the American Championship, a team that can not only make the NCAA tournament, but make a little bit of noise in the NCAA tournament. But look, at the end of the day, you know, I think it was disappointing not to come out of Oxford with a win against an Ole Miss team that, you know, has not been tested in the same way. I think Memphis, as battle-tested they are, that was a game that you could have won on the road, maybe a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and led for most of the day and even up 14 at one point in the game and seemingly had it in order. Now, Tiger fans, Tiger apologists, many, you know, are saying, you know, the torrid kind of lucky shooting, the lucky day for Ole Miss. I love that, you know, when Ole Miss beats Memphis in basketball, it's lucky. You know, they just talk about them like it's something on the bottom of their shoe when they play them. But yet when they, you know, when they beat them in football, you know, it is Super Bowl, and you can't have it both ways. That was a loss that should not have occurred Saturday.
Yeah, look, I mean, you at some point, like, you give up the shots that you give up, right? Like, Jalen Murray can make shots. Yeah, he's not as proven as some of these other guys, but he's capable of making big shots, and he beat Ole Miss, or he beat Memphis, as a result of it. So yeah, I mean, look, that was a game that Memphis probably should have had. They're probably a little bit more talented team. It's not the end of the world, right? Like, you lose tough road games in conference play all the time when you play in the SEC. You know, if you were like Ole Miss, like, it's truly not the end of the world. But again, that being said, like, yeah, like that's a game that Memphis probably will look back on and say, like, yeah, we had every opportunity to win the game, we didn't take it. That's on us.
Tonight in Richmond against VCU, they're favored on the road against a 4-4 Virginia Commonwealth. Tonight on the road, Sunday afternoon on the road at A&M, and then a lot of home games. Clemson at home, Virginia at home, Vanderbilt at home, Austin Peay at home, and that will end the 13-game non-conference schedule. I had them 9-4 non-conference, and I thought that would put them in the 7 or 8 at-large bid with what they're going to do in the American, and they're going to obliterate the American. Do you think out of that 13 games they can go beneath 9-4 and still be secured of an NCAA tournament bid?
I think the 9-4 is somewhat of a magic number, as you said, right? Like, I don't think it's a must. I think you could be 8-5 and it wouldn't be the end of the world, but, you know, just not knowing how many opportunities you're really going to get in American Conference play, I think it's essential that you find a way to add 1 or 2 more wins that matter. Now, VCU tonight, that's the game that I think on paper you thought would be able to help you. In practice, maybe not. They've struggled a little bit early on in the Ryan Odom era. But again, those are the types of games, if you want to be an NCAA tournament team, you have to find a way to win.
Absolutely. Well, tonight's game against VCU, I'll be honest, I haven't seen VCU really at all this season, but coming off a loss against Norfolk State, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. What should people know about this VCU team, and what do you think about this matchup tonight for the Tigers?
Yeah, a completely new roster. Ryan Odom, who was the head coach at Utah State last year, took them to the NCAA tournament. He took over for Mike Rhodes, who went off to Penn State. And it's just one of those classic kind of trickle-down situations. They have a tremendous guard in Max Shulga, who transferred in from Utah State. He's the guy, if you're a Memphis fan, like, watch him. He's a potential pro. If VCU finds a way to win this game, it will be because Memphis did not do enough to slow him down. But the rest of the roster, very green, very inexperienced, and a lot of guys still kind of finding roles and finding their identity. I mean, you couldn't think of a more drastic stylistic shift from Mike Rhodes, who's all about pressure defense and athleticism. Compare that to Odom, who's a much more skill-oriented 4 and 5 out offense. I mean, it's been a big adjustment. I think that's the reason you've seen some of those non-conference struggles.
And ironically, VCU beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big program win out of VCU. They love beating their former coaches and going and Orlando.
Yeah, that was fun to see. That was a Feast Week game, the ESPN Events Invitational. What did you make of last night? Jimmy V Classic kicked off with Illinois and FAU. Illinois with a 98-89 win, and big games from Terrence Shannon and then Marcus Domask. Both had really, really impressive games, both with 33 points. What did you make of that performance by Illinois against a good FAU team?
I think we've always kind of knew that Illinois at their best would be a problem for people, and that was Illinois at its best. The consistency has been the issue here the last 2 years, but I think there's real reasons for optimism with this group. I mean, they've defended at such a high level. They have incredible positional size. I mean, I remember us talking about Memphis being able to put 6'6" on the floor at every spot at times in the past couple of years. Illinois really has that. They're playing a 6'6" point guard, a 6'6" shooting guard, a 6'6" small forward, and a 6'8" power forward. They are very switchable. They are very, very tough defensively, and they have some really dynamic wings led by Terrence Shannon, who has really rebuilt his NBA stock. Looks like a first-round potential draft pick, and was just tremendous yesterday. 33 points, hyper efficient. I mean, he has played like an All-American. And if you have an All-American wing, you have defense, you have a great home court. I mean, that team, I don't know if they can win the Big Ten, but I think they can contend for a Big Ten championship.
2 SEC teams with big games on Saturday. Tennessee will host Illinois, that we watched last night in the Garden. We watched on television last night. And also Saturday in Toronto, Alabama will play Purdue on Fox. Bama and Tennessee hadn't dodged anybody. This schedule has been for keeps.
Yeah, they have gone out and played some really tough teams. And Tennessee, I think, felt like they had the group to handle it. They had a lot of experience back. And for the most part, they have, right? I mean, at the end of the day, no one's faulting you because you lost by 8 on the road at North Carolina. No one's faulting you that you lost to Purdue on a neutral court. Tennessee has done enough to establish itself in my mind as a top 10, top 15 caliber team. Alabama has struggled. They have a very new-look roster. I think they probably had more turnover in the offseason than they anticipated. They knew they'd lose Brandon Miller, but I think they hoped they might keep Noah Clowney. That didn't happen. They hoped they'd keep Charles Bediako, their star center, defensively. That did not happen. Their staff turned over, all 3 assistants, as you guys may recall, all off to college head coaching jobs. So it's been an adjustment, and especially defensively. And if you're a coach trying to fix the defense, I don't really think that the thing you want to be doing is playing Purdue. I mean, they are a very, very difficult team to guard with what Edey does to pressure you, but also the way that their guards have continued to emerge. That will not be an easy night.
Nate Oates' Alabama team, are they better or worse off without Javon Quinterly?
Whew, that's a great question. I'm going to give the very political answer and say that they recruited enough players where they didn't need Javon Quinterly by the time Javon left, but that Javon is good enough to help them.
Good answer.
And with that, you were making a good case on Twitter last week. I was following that South Carolina's gotten better without G.G. Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of striking. I mean, they were last year. There was some kind of on-off player data that suggested that basically every time G.G. Jackson wasn't in the game, South Carolina was actually good.
Right.
But he played so much that they were terrible. And I kind of attribute it to statistical noise, but I mean, they've made some nice strides. Now, they did add other pieces in the portal. It's not just run it back, ditch Gigi, and all of a sudden we're good. They went and got B.J. Mack from Wofford. He's been a big impact addition. And being together for a second year, I think, has helped with Lamont Paris. But Gigi was a great example of a guy who, of course, all the talent in the world, but just was not in a position to help a college basketball team, let alone help a team as a star. I mean, they could not have relied on him as much as they did. And looking back, it was probably a mistake for all parties. Mistake for South Carolina to take him. Mistake for Gigi. It hurt his draft stock. All things that are not a winning recipe.
Well, what do you expect in that game tonight? South Carolina, undefeated South Carolina team going up against an undefeated and ranked Clemson team.
I mean, I've been really impressed with Clemson. I know I mentioned that Bama's defense has struggled. Now, Clemson's offense put it to Bama's defense.
Yeah.
P.J. Hall, his shooting ability as a big guy has been, a real matchup problem. Joe Girard, the transfer from Syracuse, has had a nice year. So, I think they look like a real, not only just a tournament team, but a team that might be able to threaten in the ACC, right? Duke looks a little bit vulnerable all of a sudden. North Carolina looks a little bit vulnerable. Like, here comes Brad Brownell and Clemson ready to break down the doors. And this is a game that if you're going to be that type of contender, you have to be able to find a way to win. Now, again, South Carolina is improved, but, to me, I like Clemson here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's big. I'm not quite buying that South Carolina is a real good team yet. I think they're competitive now. They've made a jump from, the dregs of the SEC to, they'll win some games that they shouldn't this year, but I'm not still sure they're a postseason team. I think Clemson's an NCAA tournament.
Kevin, I'm really looking forward to seeing Clemson on Saturday afternoon, December 16th here in Memphis at FedEx Forum, and it'll be the Tigers' first home game in 29 days, and that could really set up as a critical net win come tournament time win. Kevin, with the first release of the net on Monday morning, what was the thing you gleaned the most of the first release, or even the last 2 days of it? What are you finding at the net that matters, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's early. There's a lot of kind of statistical noise, but I think the story is BYU. Yeah. I mean, they are now number one in the net, which is ridiculous. But I mean, they have been so dominant, and we've talked about this in the past, right? The formula with the net is pretty simple. If you're winning games by a ton of points, you're going to climb a ton of spots. And BYU is taking it to people. I think beat Evansville by 41 yesterday, beat Fresno by 29 the game before that, beat Arizona State by 28, beat Morgan State by 43. And you look up, you say, who are these teams? Have they beaten anyone good yet? Probably not. But, I mean, at some point you dominate at that level, you've earned some respect. Now, what does BYU need to do to really contend in the Big 12? I mean, we'll see. I don't think they're that level of team yet, but, I mean, they'll have set themselves up in the metrics where, they rip through the non-conference like they have. All they'll have to do is go 500, and not only will they be in the NCAA tournament, they'll be wearing home jerseys and maybe even more, in the first round. I mean, they've done a great job with Mark Pope there and rebuilding this team after a rough year last year.
Talking to Kevin Sweeney. He joins us every week to talk college basketball, and we talked about some of the games from last night, including that Illinois-Florida Atlantic game. But another game that was in action last night, Michigan State lost to Wisconsin, a good Wisconsin team. But this Michigan State team now 4-4 on the season. What is the biggest issue with Tom Izzo's team right now?
I mean, I think the most glaring one is that the whole reason you bought stock in Michigan State in the preseason was the idea that you were adding a top 5 recruiting class to a really good returning core. Yeah. And unfortunately, right now, Tom Izzo doesn't trust those freshmen enough to allow them to supplant those returning players. Now, that alone makes Michigan State a 7 seed like they were last season. But then you add in that there's been regression from the guys that are returning, right? Like star freshman point guard Jeremy Fears can't get on the floor. Not only does he not have to be as good as A.J. Hogard was last year, he has to be as good as A.J. Hogard's been this year. And A.J. Hogard has not played well.
Yeah.
He has regressed. Jaden Akins, their starting wing, has regressed. He's a guy that a lot of excitement in that program for a long time about. He just has never really put it together. So they're just very reliant on Tyson Walker, and everybody else is inconsistent. Their front court play is not very good. Like I think they'll straighten out the boat and at least be an NCAA tournament team, but they really don't look the part of the top 5 to 10 team that they were pegged in the preseason by many prognosticators, including myself. I'll take the hit. I really felt like you let an Izzo team get this old and this talented, that they're going to find a way, and it just hasn't clicked so far.
Kevin, I think I'm offering up the ultimate softball. But here we go. Kevin Sweeney is a proud graduate of Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, a great, great, great school. When you were there, the athletics director, when you were there, was Jim Phillips. Are you surprised that he found his FSU team out with how he mishandled the Alliance a few years ago? And I don't think that was the only reason, but do you trust him as one of the poobahs of college sports?
It's interesting. He had such a sterling reputation at Northwestern, and so I hinge a lot of my view of him on that. And so I've always believed he had a chance to be a great commissioner. But I think the results speak for themselves. Now, he didn't enter at the ACC in a time of strength, given the TV deal and all that stuff. But
great point.
Part of the job is politicking, right? And Greg Sankey politicked his way to a Alabama spot in the college football playoff. Florida State did not. And that's not going to cool any tempers in Tallahassee, where everybody already wants out of that league. And so,
he really didn't. I mean, he was not out there. He was not very forward all weekend, and Sankey really did. Sankey was like one of the old big city Pauls at one of the national conventions in the day, at the 68 convention with Mayor Daley, whipping the votes, and Phillips was, we're going to let it play out, and we think it should speak for itself. Now, I know in comparison to the current athletics director, you think a lot of Jim Phillips compared to Derek Gregg.
Yeah, Derek Gregg is not one many friends in Evanston, but he has been fortunate enough that his men's basketball team has started to get it rolling. And football, I mean, football made a bowl game. That was a big surprise. And men's basketball obviously upsetting Purdue, number one team in the country on Friday night. Really fun game to be at. And so sometimes a department can succeed in spite of an AD, and I think that's really what's going on in Evanston right now.
We've got Big Ten action tonight. We've had it. We've got a lot of Big Ten action, or some Big Ten action tonight. Do you think now with these 16, 18, 20 team leagues, we're going to see a lot more December scheduling, maybe even November, of league games?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get creative. I think, particularly in the Big Ten, the Big Ten, really the crux of everything the Big Ten has done is having these multiple TV partners, right? We can play on Peacock, we can play on Fox, right? Like CBS has a share of the rights, right? I mean, at some point streaming will come into play. The Big Ten Network obviously still exists, right? So I think when you get to a league of 18 teams, I think you're going to see tons of variety in terms of when games are played, right? The days of, everybody plays on Wednesday and Saturday are over, because we need to split up this inventory as best we can. And so whether that's, I think certainly it's days of the week, but I also think, as you said, it will be times of the season, right? I think I wouldn't rule out opening night conference play in some form or fashion.
Bring it
right?
on.
How can we build excitement? I mean, look, and I don't love it, but I do want big games on opening night so badly that, like, whatever it takes, get it done.
And I can remember when the SEC did it a lot, but I think you're going to see some Thursday games in the future, some Sundays, and an occasional Friday nighter for the TV partners.
Yes, exactly. I mean, everybody wants to be fed now, particularly in the Big Ten, which doesn't have, an ESPN deal. Friday night NBA is a big deal to ESPN that has kept college basketball very quiet on Friday night. Once Big Ten is fully on board, Fox loves to fight ESPN.
Yep.
I guarantee we will have some high-level Friday night Big Ten basketball.
I love it. Well, speaking of the Big Ten, Rutgers in action right now against Wake Forest. They're down 22-11. But the big news today for Rutgers, they got a commitment from 5-star Dylan Harper, number 2 player in the class, according to 247. He goes along with the number 3 player in the class, Ace Bailey. What have you made of the recruiting job by this Rutgers staff right now, currently 3rd in the country in the class of 2024?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I think maybe the only thing less believable than Rutgers becoming a perennial NCAA tournament team like they have was that Rutgers would become the destination for top 5 recruits. But, great recruiting job with Ace Bailey by Brandon Knight, their top assistant, who's done a tremendous job there for a very long time, very long overdue for a head coaching job. And then Harper, obviously some family ties. Brother Ron, a great player there. His father, Ron, also big in the state of New Jersey. So Rutgers had the inside track for a long time, but sealing the deal when Duke is hovering and Kansas is hovering is really, really hard. And tremendous credit to Steve Peichel and Brandon Knight and that whole staff for finding a way to get it across the finish line.
Kevin, I remember Rutgers in the Final Four in '76, undefeated just like IU was that year.
That is a remarkable thing to think back on now after
Yes.
the divergence. Then, yeah.
Yes, no, that is something. But Kevin, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Be safe.
Yeah. Kevin Sweeney, he joins us every single week.
He's on the road.
He is on the road, heading somewhere. I'm sure heading to a game somewhere. But he joins us every single week to talk college basketball. Really, no better person to talk college basketball on a national level than with Kevin Sweeney. And like I said, you can follow him on Twitter at CBB_Central. I'm with him. I did not ever think that Rutgers would be a landing spot for 5 stars.
Rutgers in the Big Ten is still a shocker.
Yes.
I mean, tonight, when you look at Penn State versus Maryland in the Big Ten, that still kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, when you look at the lineup of games tonight in the Big Ten and you see not only Penn State versus Maryland, but then you also see Rutgers in there playing a non-conference game as a Big Ten school, I'm sure that does surprise you a little bit. But it's where the world we live in, and next year it's going to be even weirder to look up and see some of the teams playing in conference games in December in the Big Ten. But before we get to a break, I got to tell you about our friends over at Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Jean on the Historic Square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they own the place known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, even rubber boots for every single occasion, available at Hewlett and Dunn. And from head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable, like Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean. Whether for men or women, they've got clothing like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville, or to their website, hewlettdunn.com. They've also got you covered with accessories like hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback, or cool hats you can think of. Whether it's the Tigers, State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks, they've got it. And if you're heading somewhere, the holiday season rolling around, their travel bag selection is absolutely top notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, give them a visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn. Well, let's get to a break. When we come back, we got to talk about what's trending.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Does the real estate market slow down at this time of year? This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I guess it might, but I sold a home on Thanksgiving Day, and in the past have sold houses the day before Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Day. The market is out there, but you have to have someone to find it for you. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure that I am one of them. Find out how my highly successful strategic marketing program can work for you, and how what I do differently than other brokers. I guess that's why people often say, when you want the job done, call me, Mr. Three-Putt. Actually, Shell Dunn. You can reach me at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Write it down or put it in your phone or call me now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546, and go Tigers.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Ping G430 drivers, which combine the ultimate combination of distance and forgiveness. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
36,000, the number of businesses which have upgraded to the #1 cloud financial system, NetSuite by Oracle. 25. NetSuite just turned 25. That's 25 years of helping businesses streamline their finances and reduce costs. Because your unique business deserves a customized solution. That's NetSuite. Learn more when you download NetSuite's popular Key Performance Indicators checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/herd, netsuite.com/herd.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It remains slow on 40 east and westbound out around Canada Road from our earlier crash that we had, and now it's really affecting that traffic flow on 40 east from Sycamore View Road all the way out to get past the crash site there at Canada Road. It's a lot of rubbernecking still going on as they clean up this accident. It slowed it down westbound, not as bad as eastbound. It's heavy over here now on 240 east getting on to 385. Billmore Parkway going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Once again, here are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand?
Welcome back into Sports Times. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. About 30 minutes till we have tip-off for Tigers versus VCU and Grizzlies versus Detroit Pistons. But we got to talk about what's trending. There's a lot trending today, but the first, we haven't been able to talk about it. I saw this earlier. It was being reported by Steve Robertson, who covers Mississippi State football for their 247 page. He reported earlier this morning that Mississippi State is targeting Memphis defensive coordinator Matt Barnes for their safety coach position. And now, through the reporting of Memphis football beat writers, we now know that he's no longer on staff at Memphis, and it sounds like he will be the new safeties coach at Mississippi State.
Yeah, it was a rough go on defense a lot of weeks for the Tigers this year. I don't know how great his personnel was, though, but it was a lot of weeks where the Tigers had to outscore them, and Jeff Levy's putting together his staff, and if Steve Robertson's reporting it from the state beat, you can count on it.
Yeah, and so, I know obviously very high regard. A lot of people hold Matt Barnes in terms of what his secondaries have done in recent years. Had a good
have to get another one.
Yeah, had a good reputation at Ohio State for what his DBs did. Memphis, I think it was last year, was top 20 in interceptions. So I mean, he has shown that in the secondary he can really coach. But you're right, Brad. I mean, that defense really throughout the entire conference slate. I mean, I go back to really early in the season, first conference game, Memphis versus Navy, when we were all talking about, man, this defense is looking good 2 games in, and they're really looking solid. And then we came in the next day. That was a Thursday night game. We came in Friday going, ooh, this defense has a lot of question marks out there.
Yeah, the tackling was often a little bit ragged all year.
Yeah.
But if you had told me in the preseason, I had it as a loss, hold Tulane to 31.
Yeah.
I would have thought Memphis would have won that game.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think it was, all
but
bad.
Great year for Tiger football. I just do not sign up with the naysayers and complainers. And if they finish off with a 10th win, I don't know how anybody could be overly critical of it.
Right. No, not at all. And so
even mildly critical.
Right.
As we speak, live from Motown, Rob Fisher on my TV.
All right.
The great Rob Fisher.
We're less than 30 minutes away, so we've already got pregame going
Right,
on. How about
I'm stealing
that?
this from Rob years ago when he was in Detroit, and he threw this at me. Hi, Hardwin. Your favorite Motown act. The music label. You're familiar with that, aren't you?
Yes, I'm familiar with Motown. I'm trying to wrap my brain now around who's some Motown
I didn't
acts
blink
that
when he asked me.
What's yours go to?
Smokey Robinson.
Oh, that's a great one. Oh, yeah. I probably have to go with that. Yeah.
I could put on Cruising by Smokey Robinson and just listen to it in a loop on a 6-hour drive.
Hey, Brett, my favorite Motown is Michael Jackson, man.
Well, that would be the Jackson 5, and that's really good, Johnny.
I think that's probably mine.
Yeah.
They were the first one that came to mind, and I was trying to think of others because I didn't want to speak too soon. But Jackson 5.
And when I ask outside non-Stones favorite acts of all time, Stevie Wonder's way up there with me.
Yeah, I love Stevie
I like
and
Stevie
he was fresh
Wonder.
out of Motown.
That's true.
I like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
I like Marvin Gaye. He was
Love
good.
Marvin Gaye. Way to go, Johnny.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Your parents listen to that.
Yeah, they they put me on.
That's good.
Yeah, they turned me on that, man.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of really good ones to try to pick from, but I'd probably have to go with Jackson 5.
I think that was the same trip to Detroit. Epic, historic snowstorm as the Grizzlies arrived the day before. And I mean, it's bad when Detroit's paralyzed from snow because they got all the equipment.
Yes.
And Rob got to the hotel, got owed. I'm pretty sure this was the same day. And he said that day, everybody on the official travel party, everybody, except for the bus driver, was out helping push the bus, including Zebo.
No. Oh, Zebo.
And just imagine somebody in Detroit traffic, the familiarity with him at Michigan State, drive by and go, did I just see Zach Randolph pushing a bus?
Zach Randolph pushing a bus? Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, wow. Yeah, that's bad. When you're up in Detroit and they are freaking out about snow, you're in trouble.
You know it's bad because they're used to it. They got all the toys to clear it, unlike us with our one snowplow.
Yeah, and we freak out.
We're just not made for
dusting. It. No, and I do like a good snow. It's nice, but
Brian, I am not dreaming of a white Christmas.
No.
If I never saw another flake in my life, would be fine with me. After the epic winters we've had the last few winters.
Well, that's a good point. I was thinking about that the other night.
Man, that one a few years ago. I have decorative big boulders in my driveway. Anyway, I put them out there to keep where people wouldn't pull in the yard.
Right.
And that snow a few years ago, and I measured the top one of it is 22 inches. Wow. And if you didn't know they were out there, you would have not known they were out there. They were completely covered.
What was it? Was it last year? I don't
the
even
big
know
cold.
if it was really snow or ice that knocked us off air for a day or two, a couple days.
Knocked us off on Christmas Eve, remember? On the 23rd.
That's right. That was last year, yeah.
It took the tower down.
Sure did, yeah.
That was ice.
Everyone showed up that morning and nothing.
Everything
was down.
But every place in town was off.
Yeah, and no, that was bad last year. I just can't remember if that was last year or 2 years ago.
One of the epic ice storms here was in '94. Y'all, both of y'all's parents will remember it well. And we weren't alone. It was a lot of places in town. We were 2 solid weeks. Jeez. Just everything buckled in half. Every tower, every site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always.
No engineer am I.
No, I always hear about '94. Whenever the power goes out, especially when it's starting to get cold, power goes out, and you immediately start getting those stories.
I think our last 2 ice storms are in '94's league. When I was really small, '68, '69 was a big one. There was a big one in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 2, we've had full bore winter the last few years.
Yeah, we have. It's been tough.
Keep that snow up in Detroit.
Yeah. Keep it
and the
up
Grizzlies
there.
need a win tonight.
And the Grizzlies need a win. Brett, did you see the news today in the NFL that Zach Wilson is going to make another start on Sunday against the Texans?
Did they have to talk him into it?
If you go by all reports and accounts, it would sound like it.
What if they want to take? What if they don't want to take him out and he wants to come out and they make him stay in?
No, you gotta stay in.
If he does the tap on the helmet like I need a break.
I need a break. No, you gotta stay out there.
Brian, did you hear what Aaron Rodgers was talking about?
Yeah,
defending.
Yeah, yesterday that was on the Pat McAfee show and was saying that it was obviously a leak that got out about that he wasn't sure if he wanted to come back as the starting quarterback and that he was like, we got to put it into that.
Yeah.
This is not a winning. That's not how a winning culture acts.
It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And so, they and obviously the Jets are on that rise of kind of.
Are they?
I don't know now.
I think coming into the season they were.
Coming into the season, I think I had them in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. When Aaron Rodgers decided
against the Chargers,
well, yikes. Yeah. But when Aaron Rodgers decided to go to the Jets, they were on that rise of look at what that team was last year. Look at all the young talent. Look at what they did
have some
this
high
year.
expectations.
And now, kind of reverting to the Jets, we kind of know and love the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, they had a lot of hype. Lot of hype.
Yeah.
Everybody's kissed and made up with Dre Greenlaw and big old beefcakes Dom DeSandro, the Eagles director of security. Everybody's kissed and made up.
Big Dom, is that what his nickname was?
I didn't go off on this the other day, but right? I've said for years, there are way too many people on the sideline.
Way too many.
I agree, Brett.
Johnny, and the thing about it, Johnny knows, and somebody is going to be hurt badly. Mm-hmm. And when it happens, we're going to have the extreme overreaction, and then people that need to be on the sideline
will not be there.
Yeah, no,
they won't be able to be there.
People. Yeah,
they won't be able to be there, and I'm not saying I do. My sideline pass at Ole Miss, I cannot go down until 6 minutes remain in the game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't hang around on the sideline, and when I go down there, I promise you, I stay as far away from the action as I can. Because it can get on you, and Johnny, you know this.
Yeah.
Where it really happens is that quick change, that interception out in the flat, and say you're kind of hanging out down on that 130, 35-yard line, and you think all the action's down there, and boom, then that quick change, and it's right in your lap.
Yep. Yes, and them players are very fast. They are very fast, and they
very
come to the sideline fast, man. So anybody
also,
can get hurt.
Kind of like when I went off on Joe LaCava at the Ryder Cup. If you're not out there on the field to play, you don't need to be running your flap at all.
I agree.
Yep,
I agree.
Johnny, I know y'all probably got the riot act. If anybody gets unsportsmanlike conduct from the bench area, it better be a coach.
Yep.
It better be a coach. It better be.
If it's somebody
who's not a part of it,
you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
you better keep going.
And you gotta set that precedent. I was at a basketball game on Sunday during that game. So I didn't see the actual altercation until later. And I'll be honest, so I'm driving back home from this game, and I wasn't able to watch any of the NFL game during this time. And I pulled up at a red light. I forgot where I was. And I looked over, and there was a restaurant right on the corner at this light, and you could see the TVs inside, and I was blown away at the lead and just how overmatched the Eagles were against that San Francisco 49ers team.
I was too. And Dre Greenlaw, some player, but what a trade! If it were two hostages released, if you're the Eagles, you give up Big Dom over Dre Greenlaw any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Big Dom, he deserves his nickname.
And he's legendary in the Eagle operation.
Sure.
In fact, earlier in that game, Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson had mentioned wherever they ate on Friday or Saturday night was legendary, Philly sandwiches,
right?
At his recommendation. And then later in the game, he's really made more prominent. Yeah.
How about that? That's funny. Speaking of the Eagles, when we were talking about lines earlier, we didn't get to the Cowboys and Eagles line. Right now, Dallas at home. We know they play really well when they're at AT&T Stadium. 3.5-point favorite, and that total 51.5 for this weekend's game.
I like our Cowboys, Johnny.
I like our Cowboys. Johnny, what you think?
We're going for a ring.
Well,
get some bling in there.
I don't know. Well, I'll say this. The Cowboys, they are looking very good, man. I can't deny that.
Who you telling? I mean,
but
talking to the two captains of the Cowboys fan club. I mean,
hey, man, but them Eagles, I got the Eagles beating y'all, man. I'm sorry. I just see it. I just see it, man. I just
Johnny,
see it.
Were you at the university with Kenneth Gainwell?
He came actually after I came in 2020. Well, when he decided
came back when he
in 2020 when he was there, but like he decided to opt out.
Right, COVID year. He opted out. His brother played that year, but
his little brother did. Yeah, he's a good guy too. All of them.
Yeah. No, I mean,
a wishbone quarterback in high school wasn't Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah,
I'm right about that.
Oh yes, you was. I'm from
Yazoo City.
I'm from
Salute.
They love him. They love him in Yazoo.
I'm sure, but
great player.
Eagles, as much as I hate them, I mean, when you've got Kenny Gainwell in the backfield and Jake Elliott taking care of your field goals, I can't say that either, but I mean,
and those two stars, it'll create hatred, won't it?
Sure will. I mean, all those teams in the division, I can't stand them. I mean, Johnny walks in with his Eagles hoodie on, and I'm like,
who knows?
I'm like,
I might ask somebody to recruit me there.
Got a stomach ache. I mean, it's
hey, Johnny's open for offers.
Hey, I'm open for all offers.
That's the way you should be, Johnny. In every walk of life, always stay open for offers.
Hey, Brett, I love it.
Get the best offer and take it. I mean, that's the name of the game. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Santa needs a new set of wheels, and he's going to Sunrise Chevy Buick GMC. Sunrise has hundreds of new and used cars and trucks. This time of the year, Santa's a little strapped for cash, but Sunrise has financing with no money down on approved credit. The home of guaranteed credit approval, that's good, because feeding all these elves, Santa's credit's not so hot. A $6 million used car inventory. Find new roads. SunriseMemphis.com. 385 in Houston Levy and Collierville.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
You got to come home and me.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that 24 days away from his 39th, yes, his 39th birthday, LeBron James still has it. Last night, what he did in that game against the Phoenix Suns, a 3-point win for the Lakers over the Phoenix Suns, a 106-103 win. LeBron James finished with 31 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds, 24 days shy from turning 39. I mean, I think we all knew he was coming back this year. We knew that he was going to keep playing, wants to play with his son, Bronny, but especially early in the season when we heard the reports that, minutes restriction, and he can't get out there and play more than X amount of minutes a game, it's kind of, wondering what could he bring to the table this year. And that performance last night, he's been doing this game in and game out, but he was unbelievable last night.
He was a very nice man and huge Tiger fan on Twitter. Tweeted at me his Motown favorite, The Temptations. I saw the Temps and the Tops at Mud Island circa 1983, and at nighttime you could have been standing on the sun itself and it not be any hotter. At 10 o'clock at night. That's
a great one. How could I forget about the Temptations?
Also at Mud Island, I also saw Air Supply, so don't hold that against me.
No.
What I learned today, Goofy Buster only. Remember him? He said baseball, the COVID year, 95% baseball wouldn't play, and then if they started, 100% they wouldn't finish.
That's right.
Now he, along with some others, are very mad at Shohei Ohtani for not being a leak machine and telling them all where he's going to sign free agency.
Right, of course. Classic.
Not all, certainly not all, but some of the sports media, relax a little bit. You don't get every story.
Yeah, and that's okay if you don't get every single story. I mean, I know we're in a day and age where everyone's got to be first and whatever, but man, let the guy, I mean, this is the most wanted free agent that we've seen in baseball in years.
I think it's kind of refreshing. He's just going to walk out one day and this is who I'm signing with.
Say, hey, I'm signing
instead of a
with,
mountain of bad reporting.
Yeah, no, and we've seen past couple of years some really bad reporting in terms of players and free agency in baseball because of guys just trying to do everything they possibly can to be first. What I could have done without, very scary. UNLV, there was a mass shooting on campus today. I think a couple injured, but tonight's game against Dayton has been canceled as a result of it. No. We saw the same thing happen last year with Michigan State, where they had a game that night, and an unfortunate shooting on campus led the entire campus to have to shut down, even after the threat was neutralized and I guess safety was restored to campus. They just you can't do anything after that, and so very sad at UNLV to hear that today. I think it happened since we've been on air or right before our show started, so I don't know really any of the details. I just saw Dayton put out a tweet, Dayton basketball putting out a tweet saying that tonight's game would be canceled, postponed, however they worded it, because of it. And I did some quick searching and saw that unfortunate event had taken place today on UNLV. So certainly our thoughts and prayers to everybody on that or connected with the campus of UNLV today.
I could do without that. That's a lot more serious than mine. But I could do without all the politicians from Florida trying to act like they really care about FSU. It's so over the top. And then there's our council kicking the can for 2 more weeks until December 19th. But that's what a lot of government does really well: kick the can, meet to meet, move along.
Yep, that's right, man. That's what we saw yesterday, and. We talked about it yesterday, Brett, but I really, really, really hope that all of these issues, I heard Dave talking about it earlier today, and he called it just seems like a lot of hurt feelings going around right now, and I hope these people don't let this stuff get in the way of what could be really great for this city.
And we said yesterday, maybe I am truly the definition of ignorant, that I just don't know the protocol.
No,
I didn't know that you. I mean, So maybe somebody got a little ahead of someone else. Goodness gracious, let's move along.
I didn't think it would result in this, and maybe this is just maybe this is the worst it gets. I hope so. I'd be surprised if it is.
Brett, do you think there's any other person out there, any other show, all the shows, all the podcasts out there now that possibly could be doing a Beam Me Up segment right now, and somebody saying Beam Me Up to Grizzlies Pistons?
No.
Not one. Therefore, beam me up to Richmond for the Tigers.
Oh, you got me with the switcheroo again, Brad. I love it. I guess beam me up to Detroit. I like this team.
Tickets available.
Certainly plenty
Sections,
of tickets available.
Suites.
Maybe the entire arena.
Feet on wood.
Available, yes. Beam me there. We'll see if
you could lay down on the wood in Detroit tonight.
Maybe. I don't want another incident like we had here a couple years ago with the Timberwolves lady and tie myself to the basket or anything. But
glue yourself.
Glue myself, yes. I don't want anything like that down, but I could probably lay down. But after that game's over, beam me down to the state of Arizona. SMU versus Arizona State tonight on FS1, 9 p.m. SMU, a team that the Tigers will see later in the season. Arizona State, kind of a rocky start to the season for them, but they've really bounced back 5-2 currently on the season.
South Carolina at Clemson, both undefeated. DePaul at A&M. Want to watch A&M tonight for Sunday's game.
Yeah.
11 NBA games, and on SEC Network tonight, the storied on Bart Starr, the definitive story on Bart Starr. I want to watch that. Loved him in the day.
Yeah, no, that will be a lot of fun. I'll have to try to tune into that later tonight. But, yeah, it should be a good night with in NBA action and also Tigers in action. We've got 60 Division I versus Division I games tonight in college basketball. Not a ton
Go Tigers.
Of,
we got a lot to talk about tomorrow.
We do. Not a ton of, top 25 versus top 25 action. We do have Texas versus Marquette tonight, which will be
Shaka against his old school.
Yeah, that'll be a heck of a game. That's really where I should have beamed tonight. But it should be a good night watching some games on television. Enjoy it. We'll do it again tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
How's the Christmas shopping going? Yeah, that's what I thought. But Frontier Western Store will make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. They have thousands of coats, shirts, and boots. Outfit the entire family today. Looking for a Carhartt beanie? Frontier has every color they make. You'll find a whole wagon full of beanies. You'll also run into the largest selection anywhere of in-stock Carhartt and Ariat jackets and coats. They have endless aisles, an astounding collection at amazing prices. Don't forget the boots, work boots, and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, and especially Ariat. Frontier is the place to shop for name brand boots at the lowest prices every day. Way lower than chain stores and online. Thousands of boots in all sizes for men, women, and children. Not sure what to get? Frontier gift cards are always the right size, color, and price. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
It's a Big Green Egg early Christmas at Cordova Ace Hardware, Friday, December 8th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll cook tenderloin, wings, pizza, and dessert all on the Big Green Egg. Try our new sauces and seasonings and check out the platinum selection of Big Green Egg equipment and egg accessories. Get $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kits. The Big Green Egg early Christmas party, Friday, December 8th, 11 to 6 at Cordova Ace Hardware, 1740 North Germantown.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.